Ekuke where they had their state. If he had anything incriminating to pin on Alessio, he would have done that. But funny thing we say, no evidence. The man just they beat their imaginations. They go. If not, these idiots, they would have said, "Oh, we're waiting. Shebi Alessio has failed. There's something that Peter Bitu would have failed." But you know what? Guess what? This man, they 100 steps ahead of these people. Like sometimes he doesn't even announce what he wants to do. He just does it, even when they say it's not possible. He showed them that governance is not rocket science. This thing is doable. So that's why, Baba, next year, that campaign, anybody will tell una say make una back down. It's actually, let me tell you guys, this is the time to stand on your ground and make that campaign loud. Because this ADC right now, Baba, forget. At this point, I don't even care who emerges the presidential candidate. There's this message PO is trying to send, but it doesn't want to really come out and say it completely. The idea is, you know what? We don't go into agreement. You know, whether I come out or I know, whether I win or I know win, but Nigeria must work for everybody, bro. Do you understand what he's trying to say? So Toby is trying to come off here to change everybody's mindset. Baba, to that ADC, Nigeria go rise up again. Forget it. Anybody that's trying to tell you that, what if he does not get the ticket? And so what? There's something on the ground that PO doesn't have to tell everybody. And you know, for everybody consumption. You get on. So if you think deep, you would actually understand and see where he was going. That's why when that guy tell us, do you expect me to go around and do all of those things and not emerge? You know, that man, that response alone tells you a lot. But I believe he's going to be the president. These guys are doing underground jobs. Every Friday they do underground job. I think they do, but I don't know what they go on. All those nonsense BBK and the likes that they do. Now, won't happen here. Bosu, only hotter that now. Bosu really Batava village. So it's now time for everybody to wake up. It's a wake up call. That space yesterday was not just an ordinary space. It's a space that, you know what, guys, I've declared my intentions. This is what it is, and this is where I'm at. This is where my tent is. Let's go hard and make it happen. Don't let anybody try to deceive or try to make you feel delusional or cower into believing that, oh, no. In fact, it should be more stronger in the process now than ever before, because the people say, if we can actually pull off that weight in 2023, bro, there's a lot to be done with a stronger party. We can't get some kind. See, sometimes you need madness for madness. Sometimes you need people who say, you know, say, okay, yes, you don't realize, say, Nigeria still gas work. You know, get us one B. Forget. You can even dime the devil to get to that point to fix the country as it stands now. Because nobody's having it funny. Even some of them will be APC when they come here, can they do their rubbish they do. Sometimes when all those Boko Haram, all those things begin to hit them, they begin to shout quietly. I know a lot of them who are crying behind closed doors, you know, regretting whatsoever this thing is costing them. They know. Even the Northerners, the North is divided. You understand? So, all thanks to President Trump. Because Trump, Madweke, Jishike, you understand? Yes, whatever name they call him, they tag him an Igbo man, they tag him, yes, I boldly claim it. I'm an Igbo man and I'm proud of it. One day we stand for truth, justice, and equity, fairness that comes with everything. So it has to happen. And it's happening very before. What I want to advise everybody is that the next election, before that time, I beg, it's time for us to start tagging Trump for equity, fairness, and justice. So we don't start, they say, you know, the work, it don't work. Right? Then we should bring back the videos of those malicious atrocities they push. We should bring back those videos to let them know that our electoral process is very, very faulty, is bad. A lot of things are wrong.
There's something I'm suspecting is going to happen in the next election. I'm suspecting that the US actually has an interest, and the US is going to look to change Muslim tickets.
Yes.
I'm suspecting it. I don't think they're going to let that ticket just fly.
They are going hard on us because they know, you know what? This must not stand. That rubbish Obama did. No, this is the end of it. So they are scared. APC, they are scared. They are rattled. Ordinarily, if not before, you don't have to move now. Just read between the lines, think deep, look down and see what is going on. So that nonsense that charity that they created, Obama gave them this power to act all their stupidity. It's not going to work again. That those airstrikes is a message that you don't dare tamper with the next election. They're going to be seriously involved. Trust me. So you guys should not just for everybody. They say, oh, no, online now we get power. We should continue online. Continue that online. They say that online work, but by the work as results by the see. Now that's the results. Now make that vote. We make them off which is VAR. Now I will call them now.
IREV.
I don't want even know. I call them VAR because this was they did worse than VAR. So Baba, don't worry, we are winning the next election. I'm just telling everybody, stand on your grounds, do what you have to do. This is the time, and the time is now for Trump to come in and be doing what he's doing. I beg, just relax and put more pressure, for more things to happen, for all of these things. Anybody that is supporting this terrorist is also a terrorist. That's just it. It's crystal clear for everyone to see. So next election, next year after the US should help in making sure the electoral processes have, things are going well. No rigging, no nothing. I beg. There has to be some draft. Sit back, obedient. Think it's possible, like people will say, and I believe it will happen.
Okay, actually, I just saw this thing on Jumbotron. I never even look. The Nigerian post Nigeria almost died in a Nigerian car crash. The third world has finally hit an ungrateful British African citizen. He may be a bit more grateful now about being born in a country as opposed to his. You can imagine. Like I don't know how you guys see these things. Like I dey tell now, like far back, no trailer, no fit spoil, or people spoil for road. Make them stay the road 3 days for expressway. They happen during the time of good luck, Yaradua. They happen. But today, they have ambulances on the road. We saw all these things, and you are telling us that the problem is not the government, that people can die anyhow. Hilary, you have the mic. Hilary, are you here? Okay, Odi, you have the mic.
Alpha, can you hear me? Hello? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
My submission, sorry, I've been on this place for about 3 years. My submission is very simple. It's just to ask the average Nigerian, what do you stand to give if you don't stand up for yourself come 2027? What we have seen with these APC auctions shows us that even them, they can't even protect themselves. Case in point, Gigi that died the other day with a swollen stomach. Online, all the time, forming the I'm supporting APC because they actually believe that when they said our local, they were actually they didn't know that they were just referring themselves. He was against himself and his family members. So there is nobody that is immune to the impunity that these guys are actually carrying out in Nigeria. So my question, as I said to everybody, is what do you stand to lose? Are you not tired of living on your knees? Are we not tired of suffering and smiling? 2027 is the time to change this thing. It's becoming too much because at some point you have to sit there and ask yourself, even a goat that is pushed to the wall at some point will say, no, enough is enough. You Nigerians, we are worse than goats. No offense, but we are actually worse than goats. They pushed you to the wall. No response. Even if you are in bedside, no response at all. With what happened the other day in Sokoto, yes, we are very grateful to the US president. Your president's response was to travel abroad to show you that he not even ready to abroad because he knows you cannot do anything. At what point do we stand up and say, enough is enough? Enough is enough. For God's sake, enough is enough. What's happening in Nigeria is yeah, I'm happy that I'm abroad and I'm looking at it because to be very honest, if I were in Nigeria, I would have committed suicide. As a hardworking Igbo boy that knows myself very well, that me, I like to hustle. I go dig country, person will tell me something because of my tribe. I'll leave and go to where I'll be appreciated. Again, Nigerians, whether you are APC or your PDP, even the idiots that are in APC are the ones that particularly speaking to. You people are even dying like flies. The ones that you know that our local was you are dying like flies to the glory of the Almighty God. I'm very happy that you people are dying, and I pray you continue to die like the roaches that you are, like the rodents that you are. You continue to die. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I've been to a few countries. I went to Pakistan. Even Pakistan, as well as it's better than Nigeria. Do you know that in Pakistan there's higher quality of life than even in Nigeria? In terms of India just here that everybody makes fun of. 10 times better than Nigeria. Life expectancy, standard of living, the cost of a newspaper, times of a newspaper is still 2 rupees and 50 whatever. From 2014 to today, 10 years after, it's still the same. The cost of living has barely gone up. That's the cost. What does India have? No natural resource. The natural resource is their people. You are claiming most populous African country, and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Other countries that are populous like us, you can see what they are. India has no natural resource. Their natural resource, their major export is its people. Look at where the country is. Can you compare it to Nigeria? Nigerians, it has gotten to a point where when you consider, as I said, if you push a goat to the wall, it gets to a point the goat will react. What will it have to take? Because slowly but surely, a lot of us are coming on these places and starting to say that that thing that we thought will not happen to us is certainly nearing us. So all those things we used to hear about kidnappings, killings, and all of that, they used to seem like they are so far away. Now it's coming closer to you, your neighbors, your friends, your cousins. Anthony Joshua of all people that just won how many millions the other day. Look at the condition that he is in. Ask yourself, you will be saying you not get anything. If anything happens to you tomorrow, what do you think will be your what do you think will happen to you, for God's sake? Like you have to give yourself brain. It's appalling that it's us Nigerians that are supposed to be like the pride of Africa. Like everywhere we go to, people look at us and are like, Nigerians, like I am. I know how they refer Nigerians because we come here, we expect most of us respect ourselves, and then we do the job. But in our own country, we don't even tell ourselves the truth. We stand up to ask for what is right. One idiot to come here and tell me to wait till 2031. It's God that will punish you. God Almighty will punish you. Whether you try to see or not. We want it to see tomorrow. We're telling you to wait till 2031. Are you serious? Are you serious? What's happening in 2025 is not enough. Wait 2031. God will punish you, sir. Idiot. I'm sick and tired of this. Come on here, waste our time, we talk, and then we go all of these places. People are dying, for God's sake. People are dying. Even those of us that are abroad, we want to come back home. We want to come back home. The African Nigerians, they will tell you, we want to come back home. Because at the end of the day, there is no place like home. There is no place like home. It's tiring. It's tiring. You wake up every day, you open Twitter, it is one step news or the other, and nothing seems to face us anymore. It's to the point where it seems like you are in to anything that's happening. It doesn't shake us. If tomorrow they wake up and keep other people in one place, nothing will happen. Let me put it to you right now, Nigerians. If tomorrow they keep it in one thing, nothing will happen. It is who we are as a people. We are proving that we cannot do anything. Please, let us change the narrative in 2027. Even if we not change it for ourselves, let us change it for our children. The countries that are running today, they're all of them are having problems with immigration. They're all blaming the immigrants, reason why they're losing jobs. It's not easy anymore. They're all blaming. So it gets to a point where they will eventually tell you, we don't want to go against your country because even they are suffering. Please, there is nobody that will fix our home for us apart from us. Even if you not do it for your kids. Do it for the next generation. We know how we were when we were growing up. You know how Christmas used to be when you could go out, play, do whatever you wanted to do. Now can you do it? You know how much fun it was going to a enter bus to the village. Imagine the nostalgia. Can you relive those moments today? No. If you can't, imagine what our kids will get to see. When is their own turn? It's tiring. Rest my case, Jerry. I'm very tired.
Odim, Jack, are you here?
On the JT, they said Anthony Joshua said,
No, those things that is one thing about Nigeria. It's all these banger boys on earth. Those
"Oh,
guys
really?
are also they are also a problem we are suffering from in
Oh,
this
I
country.
thought he
Those banger
actually
boys.
said it.
He never said it. It's banger boy street.
Oh my God.
He didn't say it. All these banger boys are also the problem. But APC will not see them. They will be using them to push the agenda. When these people are the people APC use and make it less as tomorrow to come and preach, we have oil, we have to pay our tax and all these things. After they have blown finishing on the test app. Nobody. Jack, are you here?
This guy said, Andy, please help me remove that thing.
Okay. Natasha, you have the mic.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So let me first and foremost, everybody keeps saying I'm talking about this Anthony Joshua thing and everything. This afternoon when I came online, I noticed that the car rammed into a trailer. Am I correct? Right? And the trailer wasn't moving or something. You people keep I think last month there was a motion or something about Dangote trailer killing a lot of people and people were trying to like make them to stop crossing a particular town until Dangote take responsibility. And all of a sudden it just dies off. And I think that's the problem with Nigeria. And the fact that most of I don't live in diaspora, I live in Nigeria, but I travel frequently. Most people in diaspora think that Nigeria being a debt trap doesn't get to affect them. That's where you guys make the whole mistake. Because the fact that you're going to come back to this country, right, means you it's just a matter of time for you to be a it's just by God's grace for you to escape this. You people heard about this fixing the road thing that they put up during this 30 December thing that people started, protesting and everything, and they had to move it like one way or the other way, everything. I came back to Nigeria and I noticed that road that Pella had an accident or something is actually closer to my house. Now, there was a demarcation that demarcated, if you're coming towards Aja, people that are going towards the other side and people that are turning at the traffic lights. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, they already halved one of the road, messed it up and left it undone. When I mean undone, I mean the roads are not level. I mean they just racked up the gutter and just left it undone. They took out the demarcation in between the roads that can even differentiate. When you're running down that Lekki express, the road that can differentiate that this is a turn or not. We don't have road signs, we don't have nothing, and they took out the demarcation. It actually means that you can actually run down without even turning. I know the interesting, they don't put up plasma. The moment you realize you pass that traffic light and you want to turn, plasma takes, they get to explode, they get to do all these things. Now tell me where there won't be an accident. Give me one reason why there won't be an accident. Does that even make sense? It makes no sense. And each time I see most of these diaspora people talk about, oh, I'll try to support this government. My prayer is always that the moment you step into this country, Nigeria will happen to you people. Because that's the only way you people would understand that this thing that they call bad government, bad road, bad healthcare system, whatever, it's not peculiar to anybody. Everybody will catch up. And the fact that this thing is even happening in Lagos State, Lagos and Ogun State, the supposedly most richest state in the whole of Nigeria, is one of our nice. One thing I want to say on this thing is you people should just watch out. This whole road spoilage thing happened this December, you people should look at from now till probably first quarter of the year, next year. There's going to be an accident. That Bella accident was just one accident that happened on that. And the interesting thing is that most of these celebrities, this is where they live, Chevron, and none of them would come up and talk. Like, I used to wonder if you guys that live in diaspora, if you see these politicians outside, how do you guys now take pictures and talk to them on a friendly note? You see, Muslim countries that stood up and dragged their politicians' children to hell. They dragged them like there was no tomorrow. For Nigerians, we don't have it. We don't. You can't push us to the edge. You always find a way to smile around everything and play around everything. And then tomorrow, you people are farming one person or the other. How do you people expect us to be better? How? I just wish, which is why I'm not really a social media person, but I just come up once in a while. You see, most of these people on Twitter that they don't look at anybody's face. When you say the good things, they acknowledge you and they give you, well done. And when you mess up, they drag your mess up to hell. Those are the people I appreciate. Because you know why? Those kind of people, they have the sense of right and wrong. And if Nigerians can actually try to understand that there is something called sense of right and wrong. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. Call up your conscience, like wake it up. Don't let everything be. So some of you are in diaspora and they will give you people a contract or something, or call you people for notice a business that you're doing and then try to get people to invest in something, probably because you have a social media presence on Twitter, and then you people just go for it. This is why I don't even read so many people in our space or this space, because government tomorrow you've changed, and then all of a sudden next time you're just acting like a camouflage. But I just keep asking, what is it going to take? What is it really going to take for Nigerians to actually be able to say something true? And I really, really would say, and let me tell you, whenever I say this to people, I work in kind of field that I have access to most of those people. When I see people like I had a client that came into my office the other day and we were trying to say something. I was like, oh, the government is bad. There was no money. It was like, oh no, it's not Tinubu. Immediately I told my assistant, sir, we don't have a discount for you at this period. And that is me. I don't even used to I don't used to smile about. I used to literally say to the client's face, I don't understand. If you support this government, it means you have money. So just give us the money, Give us the money. You don't deserve the discount or the voucher. You need to pay it with that money that you support them with. And that's me. And I would always stand by that. So most of them, they know me already. Whenever they come to me or they refer somebody to me, they always tell them that be careful of what you say to her, because if I use the something that should not even show anything. And if we can have people like that can literally say things are right and wrong, don't you realize that people will be careful of what they do and how they do it? People will know that they will be held responsible for what they say. Do you people realize that? Like that's just moving. You said it's 2027 that is coming, 2027 election, yes. I'm one of the strong believers that if this government wants to change hand, it will change hand. Believe me, they are not more than us. How many do they want to keep? How many do they want to? How can they keep it? And the next thing I want to actually tell Nigerians is, I think you people need to stop this culture of crowdfunding. You people now say that, it has happened in the past, let's forgive her. No! Don't forgive and forget. Don't be the bigger person. Be petty. When you see people that have committed atrocities or people that have done one thing, which is why I'm an Igbo. Which is why I like my tribe. You know, I'm not saying that all of us have this, but majority of Igbo, right? Majority of Igbos, We don't forgive and forget, which is why you see this Mado case. So many Igbos outed and casted him out because you didn't do anything for your government. And then all of a sudden you want to go and traffic somebody's child outside the Nigerian to do. Why are you crowdfunding somebody that have a police officer or this or that clearly have a bad history? Why are people crowdfunding that? Why are you supporting them behaving like that? And you feel like tomorrow they will not feel like if I just come out and say I'm sorry, people are going to forgive and no, you should not. Hold them to what they say. You see that they put something wrong, hold them to it. Let them taste what it takes for them to be on a stand of right and wrong. If you're wrong, support it with your full chest. Let the people that you support wrong, let them support it. Let's see how far they can go. This 2026, if Nigeria wants this government to change, it will. And I really, really hope that, see, diaspora people, everybody that is on this pace right now, I really, really hope that you people will be able to stick to what is right and what is wrong. Even if it's just, handful of people that you can change one pace at a time and be able to talk to people consciously for them to actually let them see the implications of the decision. You see these old people, which is why me, no matter where I'm going to, if I'm driving past and I see any human being, I know they give shish. If you clean my I will give you serious one, I will give you shit. Tomorrow they will call you to vote. And these are the people that they will call and give 20 naira, 50 naira food shit. So why do I have to put that? And I want to do charity for you? Why? I just hope that Nigerians really, really understand that we continue rubbish is part of the problem. Somebody come and apologize to you, and then you people all of a sudden wash off whatever you do. Look at this Lekki Ekpe Express Road and this stupid thing that are fixing on the road right now. This thing is going to cost so many accidents. Nobody's talking about it. And I just pray that it's not going to be one poor innocent soul that would fall into that death trap they've done, in that Chevron to Lekki Road. I just pray it's one of those influential people that they pay that live around this Chevron, Agungi, all of them. I just pray it's one of them who fall into that death trap that they've done on that road. And until they start being victim one by one, well, let's just hope and pray that the people that becomes victim henceforth, the way, well, I'm not happy as an individual victim of this, but come on. You people know what he's like, what he has posted, how he has supported this government. He never spoke up about anything. Well, I just hope that with this thing that have happened, was one of this musician that survived a death scare, medical death scare that literally came up and started talking about Christians and Muslims and them killing Christians. These are the kind of things that me I like, because it's until it happens to you, you don't know how terrible and bad it is. I just hope that on this Twitter space from March to 2027, let everybody be petty. You see people that do wrong, embrace them with that wrong they do. Don't even pity them or be nice to them. I just pray that you people will just hold people by what they say. Don't say maybe their intentions are not clear. Hold them. If they say shit, hold them to the shit. That is the only way that people would realize. They've left for me, so even to patronize their business. Let those people that support bad government patronize their business. That's how petty I am. Because tell me why you're supporting this stupid thing, and then you want me, that I want good governance, to come and patronize you, so that you will have enough money to talk shit and buy that and come online. Why? I just pray that from 2020, from 2026, we just have 1 year, 2026 and 2027 election. And I just hope that this 2026, everybody will be very petty. You people should be petty. You see, you people that have social media presence, that your tweet can go far, be petty about it. Which is why you see this in Harry does. and he doesn't look at anybody's face. And when he wants to drag, he goes to drag up shit that you've done years ago. That is one thing that you people need to do. Be petty. Hold them by their words and drag the shit out of them. That's the only way they will realize that, okay, what I say have consequences. And I just hope that you guys, all these, especially that guy Toby that was talking shit, that was not talk shit, that said, 2023 is a done deal. Hey, you guys that cut him short, you guys were the one that fucked up. You guys would have actually let him finish. Let him finish so that he can roll everything he wants to say out. You people will be able to know these people's plan. That's how they are coming one by one because they know that 2027 is close by now. They are coming to come and plant some doubt in people's mind. You people don't understand their game. When you people understand their game, people understand that this thing is deep. It's not just about this thing. These people have gone deep. These people have gone deep. You already set this 2027. I just hope coming 2027, people will be better. You see this bad governance, this bad road, all of it. When it happens to those people that support shit, you people should call them to their whatever it is that they said about it supported, so that they would see that the people that they support are the people that are signing their death sentences. Maybe that would wake them up, and maybe that would make them see that this one would be life. We really need. Well, thank you for the audience. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you,
No,
Natasha.
but see, there's something I want to say very quickly. No vex, I beg. I think we also need to look at this entire tax nonsense because I think people have not actually taken their time to understand what is happening with this new tax, law. People have discussed this thing, haphazardly. I would say, 1 point here, 1 point there, but nobody has actually had a comprehensive discussion on this. Like, actually, kind of, went through this, and I was certain things eat me. Come Nigerians will suffer next year. I fear for what Nigerians will go through next year. Do you know why I'm saying this? This entire nonsense that these APC guys have been trying to come and tell you, oh, you will pay less taxes. If you are a low income earner, it will not affect you. 800,000 naira, any below 800,000 naira, you are okay. Nothing is going to happen to you. Do you know what that actually implies? What it implies is that there is no longer any need for you to strive for higher wage in your career. Because the moment you hit 800K, my brother, the taxes come and they are progressive. What it means that as you are earning more, the tax increases. As you are earning more. So this is literally going to crumble a whole lot of, let me say, ambitions. You understand? A whole lot of ambition. You can say that Nigerians are okay. Most Nigerians are earning between 55,000 to 40,000 or something, right? But if you look at it critically, it is damning because it means that this will be stuck in that income bracket because there's no point going above that 800K. The moment you go above that 800K, between 5 to 25% of your income is gone, right? We're not even talking about entrepreneurship. There's no longer any need for you to go into business because the moment you start making anything annual income or revenue that is above 800K, my brother, they're going to tax you to oblivion. It is going to kill interest in tech. Did you see the one they said that as long as you're in Nigeria and you are working and making money in dollars elsewhere in the world, that means you are going to be paying that tax in Nigeria. What it means is that remote workers, young Nigerians who are, trying to get into IT, who are looking for a way to, make ends meet, like maybe probably looking for this international company where they can maybe get like maybe $200 here, $500 there, $600 there, $1,000 there every month. Those people, their dreams are going to be crushed. Their dreams are going to be crushed, right? And we're not even talking about the 25% on rent. Like, Nigerians, I don't know what is going on, but like I don't even see any enthusiasm in discussing this thing. Like it's like these people have naturally just reserved themselves to their fate. Here get Messiah. That death will kill us, make it kill us. Because what I'm seeing is very, very distorted. Nigerians are going to suffer. This man is looking for any possible way because he has put his hand in all every single everywhere he could find a loan. He went for that loan. A lot of those loans have been wasted on non-productive sectors of this economy. Those loans are not going to bring anything back to this. So how is he going to pay back the loan? He needs to shore up his revenue. And how does he shore up his revenue? By this taxation law that they just introduced. So now you will be saying you don't know what to use your loan do. You are going to pay back that loan, whether you want it or not. The people that took the loan have squandered the money for the loan. And if you think what I'm saying is unfounded, I'll remind you that before Buhari left this country, Buhari borrowed 800 million USD. He claimed that 800 million USD was going to be used as a kind of, money to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. Nothing came out of that. Nobody heard anything about it again. When Tinubu came in, Tinubu borrowed again his own to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. Till today, nobody in Nigeria can point out to me and tell me this was actually the measures taken by the federal government to cushion the effect of that fuel subsidy removal. Because we know when they spoke about fertilizer, when they spoke about CNG buses, I think that's what they call those things. None of those things came to fruition. I remember they are posting propaganda pictures here. Oh, look at the buses. They have arrived in Nigeria. They are repainting them. Till today, no single soul saw a single bus on the streets of Nigeria that carried Nigeria at a discounted price. And they said that this bus was provided by the federal government. What happened to the money that was borrowed for those buses? That money has been squandered. Loan left, right, and center. And now Nigerians are going to be the brunt. But the funny part is that in the midst of all these things, Nigerians are quiet. Nobody they talk. The few that come on spaces, the moment they try to raise their voices, APC members will jump all up to this, jump onto the speaker section and shout them down. The other day I was in a space hearing them shouting, "Don't pay your tax now, make we see. Don't pay your tax. Tinubu is going to make tax evasion a terrorist, how do they call it? Terrorist offense." Right? Like Nigerians when I go so far, I pity you now because honestly, I don't even know what is going on in that country anymore. Me when you say I did here, the thing is already affecting me. You guys are aware that now if you're booking any flight to Nigeria, they are putting I think if I'm not mistaken, someone should correct me, is it not 10% or 15% in the ticket price? I have never heard anything like this before. I'm not talking about the flight. I'm talking about your international flights. You're booking with Lufthansa, with Delta Airways. You're booking with any of British Airways. They are putting this amount of money there, and they're going to collect this thing at the time they are what they call it. They are at the point of sale, right? Like I don't understand what is going on. At the same time, when you come into Nigeria to take a flight, you look at the price of the flight. It looks reasonable to you. By the time you flip through 2 or 3 pages, this thing balloons to about another 30% or 40% is added to this price. I know Alan Onyema came out to say that, oh, okay, that what is actually increasing the price of flight today is because of the taxes. Yes, he might not be completely right, but there's some truth in the thing he said. The price of things are outrageous in this country. When I go to any website to book a flight outside Nigeria, the price I see there is the price I get at the end of the day. If there are any changes, it's not going to be marginally 5% difference or maybe 5% increase. But in Nigeria, you look at the price of a flight. By the time you get to the point where you have to pay, this thing has added another 30%, 40% onto your initial flight price. So the fact that Nigerians just simply accept this thing, and this is going to get worse. Since I've been transacting in this world, I have never come across any bank where every single transaction I make, something is deducted from it. If I transfer money, money is deducted. If I receive money, money is deducted. I have never seen this shit any other place in the world. And trust me, I have transacted extensively in this world. I have never seen this shit any other place. But in Nigeria, Nigerians are taking it back. So anyway, I just decided to bring that up to NDBC. Not that I want to derail your space, but I feel like we are not talking about this much enough. Either because people have not actually taken their time to read that new tax law,
Grand.
understand what is going on,
How many Nigerians?
or they are just deliberately avoiding it.
Grand. How many Nigerians take 1 million for 1 year? How many?
I don't mean there's no ambition anymore now.
So
No ambition
that
because
is
what's the point of
it. How
making 1
many?
million?
How many go make 1 million for 1 year? How many? You don't see this thing like it's not possible.
Let me help you, Grant. I think the biggest problem, and what you're saying is, I think Nigeria has picked up. Grant, Nigeria is in a very big mess, and it's not about the people. Sometimes it's about how we've been conditioned not to speak up. And I'll give you an example. Grant, if you go back 5-6 years ago, when they started, oh, you do ATM, you pay charges. You did this, you pay 15 naira. Nigerians were speaking up. But what happened? Nothing happened. It went through. People will go to the bank and shout. Grant, in 2025, people still put money in their account and they will come back and the money is missing. You will write a copy CBN and nothing happens. Grant,
You
you
tell you
go
to go
to
and get a court order for you to be able to check who took your money in the first place.
not
Need
even
a
happen.
court
They will
order.
not. They will not respond to even with the court order, not the whole rubbish.
Court order. There's this thing they call it. Please, somebody remind me the name. Court. Is it? I can't remember what they call it, but there's something they always ask. So if somebody withdraws your money and you don't know who that person is, for you to be able to get information on who that person that withdrew your money is, you have to go to the court and get one nonsense they call it. I forgot what they call that nonsense, right? That is
I
the
would
only.
Grant, that's the neighbor Richard. They will
And
let
Grant,
the only
let,
people that you
Yeah,
have seen
well.
that get those accounts
Grant,
are
let me
those
tell you
probably
guys.
this thing don't enter social media
Let
or
me.
anything.
Let,
Wait, sorry, Hillary.
okay.
Grant, who are those that are supposed to be championing this conversation? The bloody idiot 109 people and 305 people. But they don't care. Grant, if you look at that tax law, the only reason why these idiot senators are making noise, Grant, is only one clause there that they remove them from overseeing it. That's the only thing they're particular about. Other things they did not care. They didn't care and they were not worried. If you look at the house there, the only thing they were hammering on was the oversight function they were supposed to see. All they needed to do was to wrap it under, oh, they changed it and this thing. That was the only thing that they removed from them. And that's why you're hearing this noise. Grant, if you have money issues that concerns bank in this country, you will suffer, you will cry. Before, when it started early, CBN, they always respond possible, take time. But now, at those days, if the bank say you copy CBN, but today, that channel is flawed. Millions of naira. Then maybe if you are lucky, you come social media, come they shout. People come they put out, come they tag them, come they do this thing. And head office will come call you. These are people you've been writing countless of emails to. These are people you've been calling. You saw the lady that talked about it 3 days ago. Her account officer, instead of her to tell her what was wrong with her account, I was angry and I said the account was wrong. I don't know.
Wait, make her tell.
I
How
don't
do
know.
I put it? I need to tell you guys what happened to me with GT Bank few last 2 years. I did a transaction with GT Bank. It was about 4 million naira. I sent money to Nigeria, and in the course of I sent that money using word remit. After a few days, GT Bank took away, I think it was about 3.9 million of the account. And I called I have all of these things on charts. I called my account manager there in Lagos. I was like, dude, what happened? They took about 3.9 million of my account. What's going on? I sent this thing. He was like, oh yeah, you need to talk to the vendors that put the money in our account. I was like, listen, I use word remit. They were like, oh yeah, it's not word remit. The people that word remit use. I was like, listen, I don't have any business whoever is local vendor that word remit use to put money in my account. I've put the money um to word remit. Word remit calculated the exchange rate and then they put the money. Then GT Bank told me that I need to contact word remit. And I kept on. I asked GT Bank, I said, what happened? They now told me that, oh, that there was something that happened that my account is part of the account reported for this thing. I was like, can you send me any valid thing that says my account got affected by anything? This guy, my account manager, took a screenshot of something. He took a screenshot of a letter. He cut it, he cropped it out, and he sent me this useless information that didn't even have anything to do with my account. So I sent that to Word Remit. I was like, dude, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I gave you money. This was like 3 years ago. I gave you money and I expected my money in my account. And you guys did put my money in my account. I don't know why you should go back to take my money. What Remit was like, you know, they, they didn't do anything, that they concluded that transaction. There was no problem with that transaction, and they didn't do one whatever vendor. And I asked GT Bank, what is the name of this vendor? They called one name. I think it was my WhatsApp chat. I should get the name. Now, the name they called for, these people, they didn't have any online presence, no website, no no contact us, no phone to reach out to them. And when I looked through it, I just came back to my senses. I was like, I dealt with what Remit. What Remit dealt with this GT Bank. I don't know. I don't have any relationship with the people in the middle. So I shouldn't even be looking and trying to talk to them. So that was how they kept on going back and forth. This thing was lingering for months and months. And I looked at it, I was like, if I keep fighting with these Nigerian people, I even copy CBN. CBN they didn't even, they didn't even talk to me or something. They were like, I felt probably if the email address that I copied CBN existed, probably nobody checks the email address. It's
Email,
probably in the
some of
bin.
them go bounce back, even some go bounce back.
Seriously. Now, you know what I now did? I was like, I live in a country that the law works. I shouldn't be talking to these guys. So what I did was I just copied financial ombudsman, copied word remit. I now put the whole thing on word remit. I was like, listen, word remit, I don't know what you are doing. If it is a crime doing transactions with you, I do not care what you're talking about. I don't care what your whatever thing, but I've gotten into any trouble or into any other thing. I got into it because I did business with you. So after I did that, once it got to financial ombudsman into this, and I told what's it called, what remit, that I was going to report them to the financial regulatory body in this country. Then what remit got very upset. Then they went back to CBN, to Zenith Bank. I don't know whatever they did with Zenith Bank. After they did what they did with Zenith Bank, the money came back. I now called my account manager and said, how did the money come back? Till today, as I talk to you, I've asked that question. Nobody has given me any answers. I can send you like literally the screenshots of the chat. Till today, my chat with my account manager stopped at what happened? How did the money come back? Nobody. Till I talk is about 3 years right now. Nobody has given me a reason why somebody went into my account, took out about 3.9 million or something, and nothing was said. Because of that, I stopped transacting with GT Bank. And I made it a decision that if I have any transaction to do in Nigeria, like if I'm doing business with you right now, in most occasions and you're in Nigeria, I'll just ask you for your account number. I will transfer my money, it will go direct to your account. Or I'll just put it in Access Bank, which seems to be working a bit right now. And when I put it in Access Bank, I will let the money, I will transfer it. So I don't even let it take 1 hour, 2 hours here. So there is part of the problem we have in Nigeria is that our institutions are rubbish. You can imagine that for months I copied CBN. I wanted to copy in EFCC. I think I did copy them. I did everything that whatever thing I thought was legal or right to do. I didn't get any response. It was until I decided to take what remains to the financial regulatory body here in the UK that these people say, oh, we're going to sort this stuff out. And now, let me tell you part of the things that I thought happened. I think part of the things that might have happened was that probably those folks might have thought that, oh, from time to time they say I put some money in that account and then I'll send it out to do something. They probably might have thought that I was a fraudster or something. And then they probably would have thought, oh, let's just take out this money. They wouldn't do any, if he's a fraudster, he wouldn't do anything. And maybe by the time I came up, I was like, listen, I work for my money. I'm not going to let you go away because then I think the 3 point something million was around uh, pounds. Naira still has some value. It was still like some thousands, about 4,000 or thereabout. I was like, no, you're not going to go away with my money. And if I did not contact anybody outside Nigeria, I probably wouldn't have been able to get back that money. So the problem we have in Nigeria is that our institutions, whatever they call institutions, we have institutions that are headed that can be good or bad based on who is on at the head, based on who is in the leadership. We don't have institutions that function based on principles or based on policies or based on the rule of law. And when I supported P2B, part of the things that I kept telling people is that I was support in 2023. I was like, listen, I'm supporting this guy because if not for anything, he's going to bring the rule of law. And I know if the rule of law exists in a country, the people would be able to at least investors, when an investor is coming into your country, he's certain that if something happens to my money and I go to the court is going to give me back my money. The court is going to rule according to the policy, the rule of law. But with what is happening in Nigeria today, where you know that the court can wake up and do whatever thing they want to do, they can imprison, do anything they want to do. That is part of the reason why, irrespective of everything, the propaganda that is being run by the APC government, investors are not coming in. But because most of this judgment that we are doing in Nigeria, going out to the international community, those are some of the things scaring away the investors. Because nobody wants to come and put their money in a place that they can, somebody who knows the president or who knows the president can basically, you know, bet situations. And when you talk about the taxation that is going to come, I think it is good that tax is going to come, is coming, in the sense that Nigerians will feel for once the pain. Majority of the things that's been happening in Nigeria has been happening based on oil money. Nobody really cares. The Niger Delta, they kind of think, oh, this money comes out from the ground. It's not like the money they made and then put it somewhere there. The federal government is taking it. No. Now, Nigerians are going to experience what it means to take part of your money, your hard-earned money, your sweat, and then you give it to the government, and then somebody is going to pad a budget, and then somebody is going to renew their car every year, and somebody is going to live in a house, is going to collect very rich amount of salary, and then we still have the government paying for their house and paying for their wardrobe and paying for their newspaper. And then when Nigerians start feeling this thing, then that is when the pen will change something in them. I'm kind of like happy, like for the first time, this is going to come. So that when they see a corrupt politician driving a car they are not supposed to drive, they will know that this is partly my money. This is partly the money that I stood under the sun and the rain worked for. And then those people are utilizing it in ways they should not. That is when things will come. And another suffering that is going to come in Nigeria is that you know that there is no price regulation in Nigeria. The moment some companies start paying those taxes, one of the things that will happen is that they are going to place it, distribute it to the end users. And when they distribute most of these taxes to the end users, there is also going to be a higher level of inflation. Irrespective of the rebasing, I know the thing they rebase, they come and tell you inflation is at 14%. Why a lot of other things, prices are still the same, and all of irrespective of the rebates, the Nigerians are still going to face far more harsher situation. And I'm kind of thinking, to an extent, I know Nigerians like money. They don't joke with their money. Maybe they've been joking with the fact that this money is coming from Niger Delta, it's coming from under the ground. They don't even know it's not now. Let them feel. But Let them feel the same way I feel when I come out in my country and I see that I see that there is refuse on the road or there is something. Some people are just, let them have that anger that I have when I'm calling the council and I'm like, why is this place not cleaned up? Because I kind of feel like I'm doing 40 something percent cars. Why would you not clean up the place? Let them have that kind of anger. Maybe that is when they will hold their leaders accountable. Maybe that is when tribe will go off their faces. And for the people I remember this particular thing that happened to Anthony Joshua. The reason why I came on stage to talk is because I remember when one girl from the north was speaking about Ogun State Road. A lot of people came. I heard most of the APC guys, they were like, oh, this is a propaganda against the Yoruba land. This is a propaganda against the Lagos and the bad thing of the state. These are Igbo, these are Pop, these are whatever trying to do. I just wanted to remind everybody who said this is a propaganda at that time that people was campaigning that these roads will be fixed. I just wanted to remind you, if you were here and you were part of the person that said this is a propaganda, you have just taken two important lives. I'm not talking about lives that are not popular. You would have taken a lot more through whatever you tweeted, through defending mediocrity, through defending stupidity. If you were here and you were hearing this, just know that you're one of the persons that tried to kill Anthony Joshua. Just know that you're one of the persons that took the life of his friends, that took from people's fathers, from successful people, because you decided to defend mediocrity. You decided to be tribalistic when people spoke. We are trying to speak truth to power. Are you? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you. Jack is supposed to go next, but just give me a minute. B Francis, are you here?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
Is it?
I saw your this thing on your this. What do you mean by the truck is innocent here? The truck was clearly off road.
Oh no! If you look at the video very clearly, that truck was parked at the side of the road. Like if you look at the picture I put there, the truck was actually at the side of the road.
So
So how
what
is
what
that?
what are you trying to explain? Let me get you through.
There's no issues there. Trucks are parked anywhere. Trucks parked on the side of the road
You're an
in Canada.
idiot. Trucks are not parked anywhere in Canada. Don't lie.
Trucks are not
Trucks are
parked.
Don't be
parked.
stupid.
Trucks are
Don't
not
lie.
parked by the side of the road.
Trucks are parked
Don't
by the side
lie.
of the
That's
road.
not
This
true.
sleeping that this
Stop it.
Trucks are not parked by the side of the road.
trucks are parked at the side
That's
of
not
the road.
true. At least the trucks are
Your
parked.
car can't be parked beside of you.
Trucks
Stop
cannot
it.
be
Stop
parked
it.
by the
He
side of the
said
road.
Diary, wait.
Trucks cannot be parked by the side of the road.
Diary.
That's it.
I'm telling you, I've seen trucks.
I don't know the kind of Canada where you live,
Don't
but
they lie
trucks
there?
are not
Somebody
parked by the
don't
side
get
of
them
the
out.
road.
Diary, what they call it? Trucks are not parked. Anything parked.
Even hot shoulder is
No,
temporary.
yes,
You're
that's
not
right.
supposed
No,
to be there.
that's right.
You're not
Yes,
supposed to be
that's
there for
right.
long.
Wait now.
Trucks,
And if you're waiting
trucks
now,
parked
Diary,
by,
relax. Get a car parked on the house and it's faulty. One, you put your hazard light on, and you have an emergency phone number.
no, not
Allow me
faulty.
to
I'm
land
talking
now.
about, for example, like
We're
I've
talking
seen
about
trucks.
example. Cars do
I've
not
seen
pay
trucks
the
where
cars wait.
I've seen examples where trucks are parked by the side of the
And
road.
nobody is there for days.
That's not true. That truck could be towed
not
instantly.
this. No, now
No,
let
no,
me
no.
Very
land.
true.
You cannot park any truck by
Let
the
me
side of the
land.
road.
Wait,
Let me
Day or
land.
night, it's not
Not
allowed.
for this. Let's say for example, you're a truck driver. You're driving and you're tired. You're allowed to park at the side of the road.
That's
And you're
not
allowed
true.
to
That's not true.
That
They
is
no,
true.
they create a kind of they create a kind
That
of
is
a
very
mini
true.
park for them where
No,
they
they
have
call it.
We have mini parks, but if you're tired,
they have
if
a
you're
mini
tired,
park by the side of the road that
if
they have
there's
to
no
pull
mini park
into.
inside,
No,
you
no,
can
no,
park
Diary,
No,
at the
you
side of the
cannot.
road.
You cannot park any
You
vehicle.
can.
Like,
What are
no,
you saying?
you can't park any vehicle by the
You
highway.
can't park
Which
It
kind
means
of
on
Canada
the
you live?
in Canada,
No,
in
no, no,
I'm
no,
telling
You
you,
are living in Canada. You don't know that you cannot park on the highway. Are you
The guy
guys
is
moving
lying.
right now? Like, what kind of
highway.
life is
That
this?
is not the highway. That's the
You
side
cannot
of
park
the
any
highway.
car, any vehicle in
You
a
can. I'm
road
telling you.
that the
Please,
traffic
can you
is literally moving in.
can you
What kind
ask
of
Go
car
look
is
it up.
this
can you
now?
ask the can you
You can.
ask the
If
guy
you
if
look
he
at
has
that
a
very
driving
well,
license?
Jesus.
I'm
Ah,
not
this guy is a
I'm
lie.
not
God.
here in America.
Ho-
I live
ho-
in America and now I'm
Hold,
from
hold,
Canada.
Guy,
hold
they
on.
don't they park any
Let's
truck or
let
vehicles by the side
let
of the
us
road.
ask
You
him
will
some
be told
let us ask him some
instantly.
traffic questions.
You can literally don't ask me the question. You can literally ask for
You don't
Mr.
need to
Mr. Man, you are lying. You are
See,
lying.
ask
I'm
truck
lying
over my
about
own
what?
personal
Trump,
experience.
You are a liar.
Trump don't park in a busy place. I know that yes, trucks can park in this thing, but not in a busy place. I think where the accident happened is in a busy place.
My
So
brother,
stop
trucks are
saying
not
that.
allowed to park in
Clearly,
a
if you
road.
look at that,
Yeah,
picture,
listen, let me tell you something you don't know. Dari,
you
just a
now
moment, just a second, please.
go and chill.
Dari, just a
Go and
second.
chill.
Can we have just a second
Go
before,
and-
Before, do you know that it is an offense anywhere in the world
Do
for
what?
you to go into the highway without having enough fuel to exit that highway? If your truck breaks down anywhere in the highway and it's because your fuel ran out or you had an issue that could have been fixed, you will be fine, seriously fine, after your truck has been stolen and your driver's license must be taken from you. That's how it is done everywhere in the globe. Only in Nigeria they don't do that. You cannot park any vehicle by the side of the road that traffic is moving in. The moment you park it there, in the next 15 minutes, a tow truck will come and take it out of there. You cannot obstruct traffic.
Police go first come.
Police will first of all come and secure the place. They will tow it out
What are
immediately.
you saying?
You cannot park any truck by the side of the road. What are you saying?
Police go come and leave. After 15 minutes.
Even the truck parking is not what we are saying. We are actually saying what is the unblast, what is the response to this thing. It's not the truck parking or not parking.
Jack, hold on. Can you give him time to explain?
So
what-
my question is,
no,
there's
can
a
you
truck at the side
can
of-
you explain those when you mean
Okay.
Nigeria?
Yes.
To be frank, Nigeria is not here.
No, because people are
blaming?
saying
Okay, people.
no, chill. People are saying, oh, it's because the truck was initially when I saw the videos I was speculating, I thought the truck was actually like parked, let's say, a little bit into the road where it's like small space left for the actual cars. I looked at that picture. There are 2 lanes, and the truck is literally on the side of the road. So I'm not even saying, okay, let's not. I don't know Nigerian traffic laws, so let's say it's not illegal. Because I know, for example, in Delaware, in Texas, you can park on the side of the highway for a certain amount of time, like you guys have said. Which is, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm saying you can park for a certain amount of time. And if let's say you're parked for 15 minutes, someone passes you and they hit you.
And they know
How
they
is that
park
your
for side
fault?
of highway. You can only park in the designated area. Stop twisting. It's not true. You can only park in the designated area. You can't park at the side of the highway. It's not possible. You are going to cause an accident.
Let's say you want to stop where you're sleeping. I've done this several times. I've stopped on the highway for up to
sleep.
now. I've stopped on the highway for up to 1 hour. I don't understand what you're
Stop
See,
The same places
have you
on the road that
have you
you
heard
live
about
move off
Oji,
and sleep
Oji,
are the
stop-
same
Oji,
places
stop
you
shouting.
move off. Oh, bro, you're
Oji,
lying.
calm down.
Stop
Stop
lying.
shouting.
Stop lying. I beg.
Have you heard anything? Have you
Not
heard
the only
anything?
person that traveled
Don't be stupid. Have you heard anything
You are
called
the one being
roadside
stupid.
assistance?
You're the one being stupid. What do you
There's
mean on the
there's
highway?
something
Highway
there's something called there's something called roadside assistance for a reason. There's something called roadside assistance because let's say for example your car breaks down, you can call roadside assistance and you can be on the side of the road.
Of course, you
as long
put
as
your
roadside
hazard now.
assistance-
You put your hazard. You put the sign behind your car.
Okay,
You
so
don't
someone
even
now
park your car there.
this is broad daylight. Hazard will not stop. Are you dumb?
Hazard, are you
Broad
stupid?
daylight.
You want your hazard light as soon as your car has an issue. Broad daylight or not?
How would you see
Did I tell
hazard light?
Dari wants to have Dari wants to have an issue. Hazard is not meant for night or day. Hazard is just telling people there is potential danger here. It is anytime you are of traffic. Please, be konono. We dey Canada. No do this thing. We don't hear the road park. We know they talk whether the road park or the trailer park.
Okay.
We're just about response.
Bro, they don't even let me.
Okay,
Let me land
Dari,
now.
hold on. Let me let you know again that truck has been parked there for like 3 days.
So you don't know, say that
Let me
Nigeria
land
will
first.
be.
Let me explain myself first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your car, let's say for example your car is having fault and you park by the side of the road. This is afternoon. You're not going to see a hazard light because it's too bright. It's brighter than the hazard light. But let's say okay, hazard light.
Una hazard light no dey work for afternoon.
Now, wow.
Hey,
No,
no, I
no,
don't hear you
no,
one
no,
again.
No,
Una hazard light no dey work for afternoon. Na only for night you dey work.
Relax.
Hey, Jesus.
Don't be this guy. You guys can stop. My point is that if your hazard light is on and it's too bright, obviously the point of hazard light is when it's
Do you
in the dark.
trafficate
So
in
you
the day
can.
or not?
So what is called the hazard
no.
triangle,
Okay,
right?
there's someone that is
No.
There's something that is
Oh my
called the
God.
hazard triangle. So the moment you have a
Can
breakdown,
you guys let me?
you look for a shoulder, you park in it, and then you walk 100 meters, 50 meters, and you drop your
Can you
hazard
guys?
light, bro,
50 meters
and
away
put
from the
your hazard
vehicle.
light on.
Can you guys mute yourself so I can talk
Okay,
first?
hold on. Grant, you see why where we were in the UK when we get driving license, they celebrate them as if we visa to another country. You know how many years I don't they try to get my license and I never get them. I never even get time to even read for them. But you see, like okay, you can continue there.
Let me just finish. So my point is, this truck is parked at the side of the road. Let's say it's been there for days, whatever. We all know how Nigeria is. My point now is, why is a driver hitting a truck at the side of the road? Is that the fucking road? Are you supposed to be driving on the side of the road? Like, I don't understand.
Are you trying to blame the guys? Like, what the fuck?
I'm blaming the driver. Yes, it's their fault. The car was off the road. Why you hitting the car that's off
Oh
the
my
road?
god!
They don't everybody normal for this Nigeria last night.
Wait. Is that only what you have? Is that only what you got? Like a diary?
What I've got, how? What do you mean?
So what are you blaming these guys? Like,
So you cannot blame people that get accident. Everybody that gets accident is not their fault. What are
The
you trying
truck
to
that
say?
was on the road, was he
It
supposed to be
clearly,
here? These guys are idiots.
it was not
My
on the road.
God,
I didn't have.
Okay,
It was at the side of the
okay,
road.
guys.
Not your fault.
You don't do. The beast. What's your name? Diary. The car park. The jammer. No problem. You win. And like we asked again, was there a hard shoulder there, or was it just put on the road? If they get all these things, no problem.
what do you
What
mean
we're
he win,
talking
Charlie? What do you mean he win?
My brother, you
That
want the full
part,
argue
that
this
part.
because he said
No,
car
no,
park.
that
Everybody could have
wrong.
said car
That's
park.
wrong.
You want the full and argue?
Charlie P, wait. No. We need to knock these people's mind. Like, it's not funny, bro. It's not funny. You are throwing that.
It is very funny. A car is parked on the
It's
side
not
of the road.
funny
How is
at all.
someone's
It's not
death
funny
funny?
at
How
all.
are you
It's
not
not
at
funny.
fault?
Diary, we agree with me that the fact that that truck was there for
Mhm.
3 days is already a failure of Nigeria in the first place.
No,
Exactly.
that's correct. That's correct. My issue now is the truck is at the side of the road. How are you hitting a truck at the side of the road in broad daylight? You're clearly at fault, or maybe you were not looking at the road, or you were. I don't understand how you. There was look at that picture
I don't
very
know how
well
that
now.
road is. Maybe there could be a
Okay,
corner there,
Grandmaster, let me ask
a
him this
curve
question.
or
Grandmaster,
something,
let me
right?
ask you this question. Diary. In developed country on this highway, as a human being, if you walk a motor jam, is that car?
Sorry, say that again. Motor jam you
Yes,
is that
this
car.
highway where they pass, maybe M40 for people where you can
Mhm.
you go stand there, motor clear you, is the car wrong?
If you're on the highway,
Yes,
I don't think the car will be wrong though, because they're not supposed to be on the highway clear.
fantastic. So is that truck supposed to be there?
No, that's not my point. You get these technicalities. If, for example, there's a truck parked somewhere and you go there and die, like I'm confused as to how you
So
stood there
what's
now
the
when you're dead.
technicality behind the car hitting you on the highway, knowing that I'm a human
Let's
being?
say the families too now. But what are they going to get from me? They're already gone. My point is people should learn to drive defensively.
We're not
Like
talking about suing
you
that, we're
cannot
talking
run
about
you cannot
corrective
run into
measures.
a stationary truck in broad daylight, bro. Like how
Okay,
does
no,
that happen? That's my point. If you guys are blaming the government in such a way that is like 100% on the government, who is
we're
driving that?
talking
Now, they
about
need to
response
check.
time, even Stephen. Nobody's even
The
talking
driver
Diary,
is alive.
please,
They should go and check
Diary,
what happened.
Diary,
What he
do
was
not change the
But
conversation. We are talking about response time. Accident has happened. Nobody's a bullet.
we all know Nigeria does not have response. Is it today?
Oh,
All these things are
so
not
We all
don't
know
I
even
I
let us
I
talk in that
I
way.
actu- I, I
I'm just
actually want to.
confused. Charlie P, do you know that people are even agreeing with that? Like, I don't even. People are even agreeing with that.
You say Nigeria normal. No be here with the talk say Nigeria no normal. No
Like,
be
and
just
this and
agree say
and when
Nigeria
they
no
talk
normal.
about tribal, so are these people Naibo people? These people Naibo people. This man Godwin Ekedu. These people Naibo people. Like, within what is happening?
There is this question I want to ask him. I want to say this. Okay, in Canada, there, if maybe such incident, this thing that happened to Anthony Joshua happened in Canada, who do you think that should be blamed? Is it the truck, the truck company that parked their car there on the highway, or Anthony Joshua itself?
Bro, you take the matter to court and you have to fight it.
No, just answer me. You are not a lawyer. I know maybe you are not a lawyer, but you as a human being, who do you think you should blame?
like in terms of liability, most likely the truck. Like you take it to court, and the truck driver will have to pay. Obviously, maybe Nigerian law says you can't park there for, or you can't
So
park there
what
at all.
what
So the truck
what
driver
what
will
are-
be
what are
at
you
Which
what
Nigerian law says
what
you
are you
can park
saying?
there?
What are you saying?
No. I'm saying let's say you take it to court and I'm not allowed to park. So if there's even a law like that, okay, the truck driver has liabilities for that. But the thing now is you can't. You guys are saying it like if a car is parked for 2 hours on a main highway in America, it's going to be an issue. I've done it before. There was no issue. Like
So,
nobody pulled up.
sorry,
Because
Gary,
it's
can
not
I
on
ask you
time.
one or two traffic questions? I need to know if you passed your driving test. You said
This guy
you
did not. This guy had not drive before. This one is fast driving
sorry.
test.
Hilary, what question?
What? Sorry. What is a chevron? What is a chevron,
Oh,
please?
yeah, you stupid. It was
Stop.
parked at the side of
Sorry.
the road. You keep saying
Sorry,
anyway.
please. Please let.
It was parked at the side
He said,
of the
Dad, you
road,
don't
not
have
on
all
the
the
road. Stop being
information.
on the
Stop
road.
assuming.
Gary,
No, the picture is there. Okay, would be on the
Gary, please. I want to ask the
you
question. I want to ask you a few.
It's right there. Look,
Diary is not completely packed outside of the road.
you can see the
It's
sand.
not
No,
completely packed.
it's
You can see
80% off the road, bro. Look at it. Look at the sand. You can tell which part of the road that
it's
cars
not
park
completely
normally.
packed off the road. That thing
It-
that's in there is not
You
packed.
can see
With
the
that
sand,
picture,
and you can
bro,
tell that cars go past
if you
that
want to
sand.
be
It's not
sincere with that picture,
sand.
that is not meaning of packing up.
Bro, this stuff is nuanced. I'm just trying to say that this stuff cars can park, and if your car breaks down, for example, and the police has not come in 15 minutes, that someone hits your car, how is that now your fault that someone did not focus on the road and hit your car?
So
I'm
you are not putting any sign to indicate that this car break down.
I don't understand. You cannot see a 2,000 pound car. How would you do a fucking triangle sign? You guys are acting as if this stuff
Why you're victim blaming? Let me ask you a
Bro,
question. What do you
I'm
know?
not victim blaming.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Hilary, yeah, ask me
What
the
you-
traffic question.
What information do you have as to what led to that accident in the first place? You're saying as if that they are just, someone that they just decided to commit suicide or something. That's the way you're putting it. What information do you
No,
have?
that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that everybody's making it seem like, oh, the Nigerian government should have picked up that vehicle. What if they did not? All these things happen outside Nigeria, in Canada as well.
But this is the failure of Nigerian government. I
Okay,
mean,
let me give an answer. Canada,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, chill. I give example of what I've come across when Nigeria is working. If you dey travel, like I know people will go say na lie, make they come tell me say na lie. If there is a truck that has an issue on the road, you'll be having like if there's if there's a police checkpoint that police will tell you, I must drive easily and there's truck on the road. There will be people notifying you. Understand? Nigeria don't go fucking down. Like people don't care about anything anymore.
Bro,
Wait,
trust me, you
wait.
don't hate Nigeria more than me.
Huh?
My point. See, let me give
It's
you
not
an
about
example.
hating Nigeria. What are you defending?
Let me
Wait.
give you
What are you defending that the truck just passed on the road and those guys went there to hit the truck? If there was every measures there to indicate that truck is there, my bro, those guys no go hit them. They no go hit them. What are you saying?
Let me just give an example.
They had a fire boss. That's the information. So it wasn't like that they just they were blind or they couldn't see in the daytime or something. They had a tire burst. The tire was leaking and all that. Right? I might be wrong, but we can investigate because that's the information I'm getting. You understand? That's why I asked him. I'm like, what information do you have? Because you're making it look like those guys are foolish or they deliberately went to hit a parked truck or something.
Okay,
So,
bro, let me explain what I'm trying to say. Let me give you a better example. If that will make sense and simplify it. If in this Canada now, I live in a state that is one of the snowiest states, the government is responsible for clearing the road. But there are several times where they don't clear the road and the road is icy. If, for example, you go and drive in that road that is too snowy or icy to driving, and you get into an accident, nothing saying, oh, the government is to blame. Yes, the government is to blame, but you're dead.
Oh, the nuances are different. Don't be stupid. You drive in the flow slowly. Don't be stupid. The nuances are very different.
Oh, you are very daft. Don't come here and be talking. You're very daft.
Sorry, can I say something?
Your parents are very stupid. They not train you.
Okay. let's not
Your
insult
parents are
ourselves.
the ones that are non-entities.
You don't do. We could just calm down. Dari, I don't think it's funny. Like you say, you live in a developed country for 2 hours. You are telling them that there won't be a response for people to indicate. Even in Google Map, immediately when they show say accident or something happened for road. Yes, we don't have that in Nigeria, but there must be something to indicate that there is an issue on the highway. This an expressway for that matter, guy. No be just ordinary road. An expressway. You are meant to speed. Do you know that even slowing down on expressway is a problem? What are you not saying? You are
It's
planning
a
to
crime,
speed it.
I know. Bro, I understand you, and you guys are honest. Like, what me I'm saying is that car is big enough. There's no sign that will be bigger than that car. Why you guys acting like there's a sign
What
of
the
bigger
fuck
than
are
the
you
car?
talking about big
You
enough?
know,
What
sorry,
sign?
hold on. Parents
They did not see the car. How
What
will
are you
they
saying?
see a sign?
Please,
And only the God
please,
punish
can
the
I
idiot.
ask Daddy a question?
God punish you, your papa.
I beg, Mona, no insult on herself. I beg, you never reach. Can't get accident. You don't get this thing. Ours is the response time to support. And Dari is saying, no problem. We all know Nigeria, but we cannot continue like this. Accident is not alien to civilized country. People have accidents. People have accidents. People have crashes. But we always see response time. Always see things coming to do this. And even if there are accidents on the middle of the road, you see people trying to divert or traffic, people trying to divert vehicles or ask vehicles to slow down. So even in those developed countries, when there's a breakdown of a vehicle, you see people coming in to support, to manage traffic, so people do not run into that. If it's a speed lane, people will definitely run on a speed. Anything could have caused the problem. It could even be the carelessness of the driver, so we don't know the full report. The only thing that the what's their name, the road service people hurriedly wrote was that it was speeding. So yeah, for that kind of thing to happen and with that impact, speeding is involved. Could be that the driver was sleeping. Could be they got carried. So anything could have been that could have.
So, Charlie P, there's another aspect. That's something that you guys are actually not are forgetting. So just to put of it. Another thing you guys know understand is that when you are driving at a very high speed and there's a car that is parked ahead of you and you don't know, sometimes it's actually very difficult to understand whether that car is moving or that car is stationary. It is very much possible. I've seen accidents happen to multiple times. That is why they tell you
Most especially
do
in the
not
night.
leave stationary vehicles in the road because the person who is coming ahead, behind you, may not be able to tell if that car is actually moving or if that car is standing there, right? So it's possible also. I'm not saying that this is what happened though. It's also possible that he may have miscalculated, thinking that this car is still moving, right? And was still moving at a steady speed, thinking that the car was still moving ahead of him. And then now hit the car. It's possible. I've seen this thing happen multiple times. We don't have the details, but we're just speculating,
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, Grandmaster. Like I agree with you. So, Grandmaster, if you look, sorry, who you are. Grandmaster, I remember when we started this conversation. Me, I don't even worry about the accident. Accident can happen. That's normal. My own is whether people say this is Nigeria, or this is how Nigeria has been. My own is response time. Response time is key. Carelessness happen in these places too, in these center clients too. Whether they can no park, no park. Accident happens. But we see how lives are being, the intervention around lives to be saved.
The same Nigeria that we just saw yesterday and 4 days ago, a complete building burnt to the ground. A tower burnt to the ground. No fire service anywhere.
Because water
in the middle of Lagos Island.
Grandmaster, they said they negotiate price. The water no even get pump. That's the pump. They work well. The pump function, no, they work well to pump water at very far distance. The crane where they carry, they leave the distance up. You don't slack. They don't service as they say if you go up, the thing will fall again.
Nigerians, we need to demand more. We need to demand more. The mediocrity is too much. The mediocrity is alarming. We really need to demand more for ourselves. This is not how we live. This is not how humans live.
Nigeria is a total state. Just that, we're finding it difficult to call it the way it is. Nigeria is a failed state. The way we talk sometimes, we talk as though there's, one temporary whatsoever. Nigeria needs a hard reset. And until then, let's just keep wasting each other's time. That country needs a hard reboot. So that's just what's going to happen. If we don't do that, it's just going to be patch, and then we just keep going down the drain. It's a failed state. Go look at it. It's of a failed state.
Imagine trying to task us as first world this thing country, and they giving us fourth world this country amenities, all these little things that we should be enjoying. Imagine the response time of trying to. Sometimes, I used to tell people that you might think that God is not working for you, but anytime that you have problem in Nigeria, that is the day you will know that only you can come for this Nigeria, because most people, most of the time, if you have accident, sometimes you might like I have seen a scenario like my elder brother. There was a time he had an accident. He was actually where the accident happened for more than 4 hours. Police people came, they were there doing, I don't know what they are saying. People cannot help people cannot help them actually. I mean, individuals cannot come to the rescue. The police people were there. Some of them were even stealing the money from the money that those people, the people that was inside those bus were carrying, instead of trying to rescue people that the survivors that has an accident. You might think that Nigeria is working till anything happen now. That's when you will know that like not for anybody. Nigeria is not for this thing. Nigeria is actually a best thing.
Away from the reality of Nigeria hitting you. That's just the thing. Well,
the next year, the biggest thing is next year they are trying to tax us like we are first world country. Why they are giving us amenities of even a third world country? I know some third world country, and I know some African countries that enjoy more amenities than us. But and I'm also saying something about this new tax of a thing. This new tax of a thing is not for the rich people, because these rich people, they have actually have their own way of laundering money already. They know how to safeguard their money. And even the 30%, some of them that own companies, they are paying 30%. Now it's reduced to 25%.
I can't even see the person speaking.
Yeah, same here. I can't see.
I think it's Charlie, right? No, it's not. It's Jack.
No,
Okay,
it's Jack.
Just a quick one. You spoke about, we being in a third world, and they're trying to, they are offering us fourth world amenities, but they want to tax us like first world people. Did you see the news on Arise TV, or the session on Arise TV where Alan Onyema, the owner of Airpeace, came to tell Nigerians that they are paying the cheapest, fare for local flights. That for some weird reason, a flight from Charleston to Atlanta, you understand, costs more. But he forgot to tell these people on air that the average income in the US is $5,200 US, and that a flight from Charleston to Atlanta costs about $180 US. What it means is that you're going to be able to travel, pay for that flight 40 times or 44 times, right, with that income. Because the average income in Nigeria is between 50,000 to 70,000. That single income cannot buy you a single flight ticket. You see how these people make you believe that abnormality is normal.
These people will come to your face and lie in your face and think that the whole Nigerians are clown. Imagine, okay, if you have lived in an Asian country, I mean, people that have been to China, people that have been to Indonesia or Thailand, they will tell you the same thing. There is no, in fact, Nigeria is the only country that is paying the highest when it comes to flight fee. But the man actually, he has claims to back this thing up. What he's trying to say is that they are not the ones generating all this money, or they are not the one. That is the government tax that is affecting this thing. I think this is what he was trying to say, but he didn't have a better way to put it or something like that. So actually, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with these people. The other day, I think it was in this in the BC space again. One APC supporter, one allied something, came and said that Tinubu reduce the value Nigerian currency so that it will stop borrowing. That before, Nigerians were borrowing to pay for their currency stability. But now Tinubu stop paying for this thing and devalue the contract. And one person asked him, okay, if Tinubu devalue this thing, but he's the one borrowing more than he has borrowed more than every other president that I don't even know the mathematical formula for this kind of this thing they are trying to say in like some most of this
join APC, your sense of reason has totally diminished. So yeah,
most
I don't think
most
that thing makes sense. It's not making any sense at all.
I don't know how you will devalue currency because you don't want to pay high. Okay, you are saying you remove fuel subsidy. Okay,
Hi, my
the
brother.
reason of removing fuel subsidy.
No, like, look at the jumbotron. See what they use cover the Igbo way. Just take a look at that thing that Harry puts on jumbotron. Bro, this country is fucked. Like, when I mean fucked, I mean like royally fucked. Now they're going to hate you, hey, shit there, bro. Jesus Christ, bro. This country is fucked up, bro. Hey, Oyibo, we travel all the way from this thing. They're going to hate you. I mean, this kind of food because they fall of us. Yeah, what? Mother touch na and God, it's too much.
But I think I tell you now, at the effect,
Please, where's the stuff you're talking about? Go on.
On the jumbotron.
Check the jumbotron. This is disgusting, man.
Yo, can I just make a point real quickly? Just let me just make a point real quick, just for a second. One thing I actually just remember is that this is how Green died. How many years ago? Coming back from wherever I went to, ran into a stationary truck and died. The story then was that Dagen got drunk, Dagen died. And the justification now is that that's can be passed. Let me just make this very clear to everyone, please. As I don't know who was speaking, the taxes that the Western world is collecting so much from the people that are working is to prevent things like this from happening. So, say for example, your car breaks down on the road, you park it on the side, you on your hazard light, you call, you let them know if my car broke down. They call a tow truck or whatever it is, and they come and tow it away. The reason for that is because those roads have speed limits. Speed limits are usually very high. So, yes, there's some part of it that we can say, I was not there, nobody was there to see what happened, to say that, oh, maybe the guy was speeding too much or was driving too fast. But that truck should not have been there in the first place. It shouldn't have, and even if it is there, as Grandma said, there's always this, it's like a mirage. You can't really tell when you're driving, especially when you're driving on a highway. You can't tell what's mobile and what's mobile. At the speed that the next vehicle next to you is moving. So that's the main reason why it's very important for you to let somebody, actually people behind you, know that the car has a problem or something has happened. Beyond that, I'm just tired.
I was telling my friend the other day, immediately I saw Anthony Joshua started flying Nigerian flag. I was telling him Anthony Joshua is going to have problem. And I don't know that it's this type of problem. I thought maybe he's going to have problem with the UK's, but at least now he have seen that all these things is doing on this thing. At least when he goes back to UK, you not use UK to compare Nigeria again.
The innocent man. This thing can happen to anybody. The same thing happened just to the last time I said that once the vehicle is parked at the roadside, there is no way you can be able to tell that vehicle is moving or not. So I think that the person that is wrong here is the person that parked the vehicle, the long vehicle. The driver made a very big mistake. The first speaker that was saying that if you cannot see a big truck, you cannot see the road. It's rubbish. You cannot see a triangle. It's rubbish. You can't just say that. No matter how the triangle is, it's very very important. Even if you don't have triangle, just put leaves, put something. At least show that vehicle was like something broke down on the vehicle. Because once you are coming, if you are driving your own vehicle, if you are an incoming vehicle from the back, you can never tell that whether that vehicle is broken or not. You understand? The same thing happened here just yesterday. The same scenario, just in my state yesterday. The vehicle that had a truck was parked on the roadside. Then one vehicle that was taking I don't know if you're coming from burial or something, they were carrying food flags, plates, bottles, a lot of things. That driver went directly at the back of that trailer. Bam! It's like the driver was unconscious just yesterday here. The same thing, but if you look at the back of that trailer, there was nothing told the driver that this vehicle was broken down. Nothing. There was no triangle, no leaves, nothing. So the one that was driving the burial car was guessing that yes, this trailer was also moving. But so I think the fault is from the person that parked the trailer. Even if the trailer was broken down, the best thing to do is show that something as it show the incoming driver that your vehicle has spoiled. Something more. We must not blame the government for everything. At least in this case, I don't think we should blame 100% government or FRC or whatever. I don't think they should take all the blame. Sometimes we should at least look inwardly. I'm not saying that our government is doing it well. Oh. No, 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 no. Our government have a fair share of the blame. But in this case, I think that the driver of that truck made the whole mistake. You can't tell me that you park the vehicle and you don't have triangle. The other guy that said that if you cannot see truck, if you cannot see truck, is it the triangle that you see? It's not making sense. That's the first guy that spoke. It's not making sense at all. No matter okay, I don't know if you guys don't see if sometimes if you carry wood from timber or if you're carrying a from timber, they ask you to tie red clothes at the back of the wood or iron, anything you're carrying, just tie red clothes to signify that you are carrying something. So that somebody that is coming from the back will know that okay, you are carrying something, they'll take it easy, oh, this is danger. So all these small, tiny things, they have their work. It's as simple as that. But we don't like Nigerians are like naturally are like our government. I keep telling people our politicians are not giving birth. We don't have a particular community that our politicians came from. These guys were normal citizens like us. They just found themselves there. It means that they went there and that same character they had, they just gave them a platform. So our government is like a platform to show your character. You understand? We have money politicians are in here. No, 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 no. They were once Nigerians like us. So all those things they are showing there at the hem of our face is the same thing they are showing as a normal, typical Nigerian. This is what I'm using. I just got it last week. The other phone, it slipped from my bag. Just a minute. I went back to the same spot. I couldn't find my phone again. I called the phone. The phone was ringing. The person refused to pick. So these are like we have this like I don't understand why Nigerians are like that. And mostly everywhere and any country we find ourselves, we will show that thing that shows that we are Nigerians. Most of us, not actually every one of us. Okay, I can remember then that people were pushing going to Dubai. Most of my cousins, all of them went there, and all of them virtually have returned. Because at some point, I don't know if you watched the videos of what Nigerians were doing there. They carried one of all these their courtesan nonsense, and took it there to the country. Started doing nonsense in the country, and I made nonsense there. And we are blaming our government. I don't think. See, I don't like our government just as much as most of you don't like it. But we should not take all the blame. We should not blame them thoroughly. We should not blame them thoroughly. At least we should have that reassessment, have reassessment to check inwardly what we are doing wrong and what we are doing right. As citizens, in fact, what's our own work? Those are our own work. We have a fair share of the blame too. Until we push the blames where we should push them, I don't think we are going to get things right because we are jumping the process. We're just blaming one side, and we are then refusing to blame the other. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I,
Can I say
you're
something,
making
please?
sense in most of
Are,
your
are you, are
listening,
you,
but
Can I say
I
something,
I
please?
disagree. I
yeah,
disagree
go
with
on.
not blaming the government.
Okay,
I
No, I'm
totally
not saying we should
disagree on
not
that.
blame. No, wait. I'm not saying we
Go,
should not
go,
blame the
go round
government.
up.
But
I
Okay,
want to
okay,
say
okay,
something
guys.
about the talk, right?
All right, all
Because
right.
there's
That's
a guy.
Things just hold on. Let's go round up.
Okay, thank you. I'll wait.
no, he can actually say something.
Okay, we'll
Say
go.
something.
Kings, you have the mic.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to say something for not so long.
Right, thanks guys for giving me the mic. I want to talk about truck driving and the guy that was saying so many things about driving. And I'm sure the city is talking about his Winnipeg, Canada, and he's spreading misinformation about driving truck in Canada. It was very wrong. First thing first, you cannot park on the side of the road when you're driving. You have 15 hours to drive, and then once it gets to 8 hours, where you want to take your break, you park in the designated area or a truck stop for you to take your break for an hour or 15 minutes, however you want it. If for any reason you have an emergency or something happens to your truck, you can stay on the shoulder, immediately call your dispatch. Before you do that, you need to position your triangles, two triangles, and call your dispatch. Your dispatch immediately calls probably a mechanic or whatever in the closest, and they'll come and get you out of there. So there's still way in Canada they allow you to park on the side of the road. You can only park on the side of the road, probably where you are delivering, the store you are delivering, or the company you are delivering is probably on the major road. You deliver to them. Park on the side of the road, go into the store, ask them where is their docking area where you can park your truck. Then come back, take your truck, and go and dock your truck there. You cannot park on the side of the road. I am not blaming the government for what happened to Anthony Joshua and his friend, but let's ask ourselves, if that truck wasn't on the side of the road, perhaps the truck driver probably that lost control or something happened would have been able to gain it, where it would have been able to readjust himself, and probably the accident wouldn't be as fatal as it was. So that guy on the road was a very big problem, and to an extent is the fault of the government. If the government had control, then that guy won't be there for that long. For 3 days, it's very
God
long.
bless you, Baba. You leave people when they come here, they talk nonsense. Now they are
God
fighting
bless
over
you, my brother.
crypto. God bless you.
That's
Nigerians are just bunch off. Now we be problem of now we be reason why we are suffering.
My brothers, listen. One thing you would have thought to yourself is that when he said, "If you cannot see a big car, will you see a triangle?" That means he doesn't even understand that a triangle is reflective. When he said, "You cannot use hazard lights in the daytime," that hazard light will not be seen in the daytime. That means he didn't even understand that if you brake suddenly on while driving, you're supposed to put your hazard light to show the person behind you that you are you are doing a change that could affect their own driving. That if something appears in front of you suddenly while you're driving, day or night, you're supposed to put your hazard light. So why we wasted a lot of time talking to the arguing back and forth with the guy? You should have understood that is either this person left driving in Nigeria, did not take driving test, and in Nigeria, people can just go and learn driving in their backyard and then they take a car and then they jump up. In Nigeria, a blind person can get driving license. Go to the bank. You will see somebody in the bank, they ask where is their identification, and the person is blind, they bring out driver's license. So we shouldn't have actually spent a lot of that time arguing with this person. He said two things that basically tells you that somebody who passed driving test, theory test, I'm not even talking about practical driving theory test would not say most of those type of things that he was saying. Thank you.
Yeah, I think sorry, host, let me quickly button this, right? Host, let me quickly button it. When people are also saying don't blame government, I think in this case, because all of us are in Nigeria, we know how the thing works. Probably Anthony Joshua is not here. And I can also see that the Federal Road Safety Corps might be passing that truck. If you want to also relate it, that truck might be there for the whole 24 hours and they are passing it, they are seeing it on the phone. If they are, so all of us are in Lagos, the truck will fall for Lagos State, the most busiest state in the country. Truck will fall on the road for over 24 hours, and people are going through the hell of all in a reasonable country. That truck is supposed to go out if it's not working. But you see, when people are saying don't blame government, the worst thing here is that there was no emergency at the moment. Check the footage, the video that is going viral. You see, this thing we handle with unprofessional people, right? In a developed country, I think even the UK that the guy is coming from, emergency service would have been there immediately and try to see how they can rescue lives, right? But yeah, no. And now, is it not a disgrace that Anthony Joshua was taken out of this country for medical care? Also be honest, and your president is wearing a watch of 400 million plus. Imagine what 400 million plus would have done to your medical system in Ogun State. I mean, I don't know why we should. It's a total government. It's a disgrace.
believe you are defending the government. Your family member needs to be victim of this tomorrow. Thank you. And I pray so. Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay.
Let me quickly address what Ugo said there about that it will be channeling the blame where it's supposed to be and kind of trying to absorb the government of much blame that the government is here. Here's the thing, right? There's no righteous people anywhere on earth. It is law and order and consequences that fix people into line. So you cannot have a government that is setting an example of bad leadership. You can't have a government that is setting an example of doing the wrong things and then you expect the followers to fall in line. No, you can't have a government. Okay, I'll give you a quick example with just what just happened with the budget. In a normal country, you'd be on fire by now. An impeachment move would have immediately been instituted. But what did we see? You understand? So you can't run a country the way we run Nigeria. Where there's no consequences for bad behavior. Government just do anyhow. They do things with impunity and get away with it. And then you expect citizens to actually be the ones showing example or doing the right thing. I'm not saying citizens shouldn't do the right thing if they have to, but I'm trying to say that there will be this human nature. There's this thing with human nature where there is no law and order, there's no consequences for bad behavior. People will tend to just do things the way they wish. And that's exactly what you're seeing in Nigeria. And what is supposed to beat people into place? What's supposed to set that orderliness? The government, the leadership. And that's why it trickles from the head. When you get it wrong with the head, then the rest of the body is gone. And that's why they say when fish, how do they put that, this thing, that when fish won't rot, from head they start. So when the head has gone bad, you don't expect the body to function well. So that's the thing. So our leadership is zero. So the followership goes through. Of course, you're going to see anyhowness because that's what's sustainable. It's just simple logic.
Let me say
Understand?
something about it. You all know about Abia State and about, to be precise.
I think Tom and I want us to accommodate for that. Many people are requesting. Labes, you have the mic so that let's try and round off the space. Labes, or are you here? Okay, Ike, man, you have the mic.
All right,
Or
good
are
evening,
you?
everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you have the mic.
Okay. First off, let me say, condolence to the two persons that lost their life in that accident. So these kind of things are something that is preventable. So first of the truck that parked by the roadside. Some people are saying that we should not blame the government, but the truth of the matter is that the government still have to blame. You see, in Lagos State, there was a day I was going to work in Okota and Kopala side. Then I was seeing a lot of trucks parked by the roadside. So they cause a lot of traffic. So I was asking the keke driver that, why are these trucks are plenty on the road like this? So what they told me was that those trucks that parked there, they were actually paying for parking on the road. That they pay 1,000 naira for parking on the roadside. So that's when I realized that. So some people are collecting money for truck to be parking by the roadside, and that thing is causing traffic. So when I heard, am I audible? Okay. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, it's not blame government on this and that," so a lot of people, all those Agbero on the road, these people are working for government. So they collect money, they allow truck to park by the roadside, whether it's causing traffic, whether it causes accidents, they really don't care. So the same time, that place being a highway, that is the responsibility of the Federal Road Safety Corps. I know they definitely have seen the truck. probably maybe the man have said to them. So once they settle, they will not even bother because they are supposed to tow it away from there. So that's definitely the fault of the government because all those who are working for government and there's nobody to discipline them. So there's a lot of lawlessness that is going on in this country, and it's all from the leadership. Some people most time want to blame the citizens that oh our leader they are a reflection of who we are and this and that. I don't that excuse is just a blackmail to blackmail the citizen. It is the leader that will give direction that this is how things should go. So the followers does not have option. And I will give one example. In a state, assuming there is a law that every last project there be environmental, people does not have option than to observe it. So, like in Lagos here now, every Thursday they used to have market environmental, and people are obeying it because they come to your shop and you are not there to do the environmental, they will lock it up. So, where there is law and order, the citizen will follow the law. And when there is punishment, okay, if you break the law, this is the punishment for it. But it is where people that are supposed to, how do I call it? People that are supposed to uphold the law, where they take bribes. Instead of serving the punishment, just take small money and go. Like people that collect 1K and allow truck to park by the roadside. So at the end of the day, if anything happens, I blame the drivers. Since those people have already collected money, so the drivers are not to be blamed. So there's a lot that's going on. Now, I want to talk about the issue of the tax. Actually, the tax, you are taxing the poorest of the poor. And I was on the space of this APC Monday. They didn't allow me to speak. I was using the analogy of like a 5,000 naira, someone that earned 5,000 daily. That would be around 1.8 million in a year. So by the time you remove the 800,000, you will be taxing on 1 million, which is like 70,000, 7% of 1 million, which is 70,000 tax. So you can be taxing someone that earns as low as 5,000 naira daily, which is around $3. That's wickedness.
Wait,
Ordinarily,
Olabe, sorry. I don't understand. Are you saying you gain like 800,000 yearly, not like annually, not like monthly? You'll be taxed for the whole year.
yes, it's annually now. It's like
Like
a
so
cumulative
the
or
tax
amount of
is
money.
not for a month, it's what you pay for the whole year.
Yes, now for the
Yes,
whole year.
yes,
Oh
for
my
the whole year.
God.
For the whole year. You will not be- If the 800,000 is annually, that means if you are any, even if you are any 3,000 naira a day, you will still be paying tax, which is just $2. If you earn as low as $2 a day, you will be paying tax. That's wickedness. That's an height of wickedness. Ordinarily, see, one thing that came to my mind is that when they are
So
saying that this tax,
this is what Grant is saying that I don't get. So wait, Ola, let me come. Like, okay, if I should make like 3,000 a day, and let me say,
yes, you are still paying
hold on,
tax.
wait, annually. Okay, if I'm making 3,000 daily, how am I paying tax?
So if you multiply it now, at least what I'm saying is that your annual income will be above that 800,000. Definitely, you qualify for the tax.
The thing is, look at how the tax work. If you earn anything below 800,000, you're not going to pay the tax. But if you
If
earn
3,000
if you
naira
earn like
daily,
1 million, wait, let me explain it to him. If you earn like 1
okay.
million, then the 200, it's not the 800, it's not all your money. The 200 at that make that 800 to 1 million, they are going to tax you from that 200,000. That's how it works.
It's the same thing that I'm saying.
Those that pay minimum wage will pay tax because minimum wage is 70,000 right a month times 12. That's 840,000. So they will tax them on that 40,000.
Even coppers, everybody's going to pay tax. The tax is for the poor people, not for this.
Yes, they are taxing the poor. That is exactly what I'm saying. And the another problem that we do not create is that because for the small business, when they talk about your turnover is above 50 million. So I use an example of someone that sells food or that has a food canteen, a canteen. So there's actually a lot of money in food business. But the problem is that at the end of the year, to calculate your profit or calculate your cost of cooking that food, it's going to be hard because you cannot go to get receipts for buying paper, for buying tomato, or other things. But where the problem will now happen is that because most small business these days are now using bank, so they collect transfer when you pay to transfer. So what the most of these mama put will have been doing is that they'll be collecting cash, so that because the tax is based on the money that pass through their account. So at the end of the year, the pass through account will not even be up to that taxable income. So at the end of the day, it's both government and this thing will lose because ordinarily, if you use bank, all those charges that you are paying when you receive money, when you send money, I think those are enough for government. If not that the governments are trying to be greedy or they are just a thief. Because it's not only fiscal policy that is used to run government, good fiscal and monetary policy. So our monetary policy, those policies of CBN, um, interest rate, all those charges and all those things. I think those are enough for small business so that you allow them to grow. But the moment you are not saying because you want to capture them on the job data, so it's when they find their tax. So you make it difficult, and people will always find a way to avoid those tax by reducing the money that pass through their account so that they will not be taxed. I don't think they really think it deep. I don't know who give them that advice. Ordinarily, what me I was thinking is that if they are going to really help the poor, the tax will start from 3 million and above. So if you earn less than 3 million, you are tax free. That means your salary is like 300,000 naira monthly. At the end of the year, your total income will be 3.6 million. So you remove the 3 million, then you tax the 600,000. So that one, you know that, oh, you do this for the poor. But we are saying from 800,000, 800,000 is too low, way too low. But like I said, I don't know who's advising them. These people, they are just too greedy. I also heard the news this night that from next year, they'll be charging 15 naira from every transaction of 10,000 and above. Every transaction you made that's above 10,000. So that, I think it was cyber, this thing that they want to do before they cancel it. Now they are bringing it back. So this
Cyber
government has
security card.
yes, 15 naira on every 10,000. So
Are
the
they not
way
charging?
government,
Are they not charging 15 naira for every 10,000? What am I paying?
That is what they are doing
they add
now. That is
another
what they are
15
doing.
naira
Only
again.
point is doing it.
They said they want to add
The,
another one in January.
that one is not. That's not the tax they are talking. They are talking
You know,
about.
that
That
one
one
is not the
concern
tax.
bank.
The other one again now.
That one concern bank and them. That one is where the bank will be generating the revenue to pay them their own tax. The tax they are talking about is the one that if you generate anything more than 800,000, you will be taxed. And all these tax of a thing is going to affect us, we that are served.
No, you don't understand that. Before now, they are passing 50 naira by the receipt. So if I send money to you, now they will tax you. The bank will collect, the government of Nigeria will collect 50 naira from you. Assuming I send 10,000 for you, you that is the receiver is the one that they will collect 50 naira from. But from next year,
But
listen to me, just listen.
wait. Even the sender, they do take money from the sender. They do collect from sender.
But that one is like after like you send like 4 5 like monthly. But now from January 1st, they will be taxing by the government will be taking revenue from your own, the sender own. If you want to send now, send 10,000. That means you're sending 10,000 50 naira.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm 10,000 50 naira for December.
That even they
Now,
are taking
This has been happening to me now.
Yes.
Sorry, this has been happening to me for years now.
I don't know what the people are telling you because anytime I transfer
I don't know. Is this
I do pay my charges.
Not all bank. Access. I don't think access have.
First bank they collect every single transaction I make.
We only give you 30 times transfer.
Not all accounts. Not all accounts. Like even for access bank, some people they complain. Why some people they say they know they collect from them. Some people they say they collect from.
I've been paying 15 naira for every transaction, regardless of the amount I spend, whether it's 3,000 naira or 4,000 naira or 10,000 naira.
Even me, if I send in a month like this, if I send like 500, you go collect. Sometimes they collect 450 for me. Sometimes I even quarrel with my account officer. why they collect this one? They say no, him they collect am. So, but this one around, my brother, the thing they want to fly higher.
So
I'm
this
telling you.
government, they are just interested in generating. Yeah,
Please, can I ask a question? Because I know Vex. Is there any other place in the world? Because I have actually done transactions across the world, and I've never seen anywhere where if you make any transaction, money is deducted. If you receive money is deducted. Is there any other place it's obtainable, or is this a new something completely, let me say, novel, something to say that we are introducing in Nigeria? I've never seen this before in my life. Has anybody seen this elsewhere in the world?
Only Nigeria they do them now. I'm not sure. Say, even people with the Senegal, they know they talk to they do them for Senegal. I know people for Senegal where they know they talk to. Only Nigeria they do 'em. Nigeria is a criminal country.
Oh, and don't forget there was this other tax they introduced too. The one they said is about for data protection or something like that. You guys
Account
remember?
maintenance and
That should be
account
sometimes.
maintenance and you know the tax.
This one is not account maintenance. It's something about protection of data or something that they introduced sometimes. I think it was either early this year or last year. I can't remember exactly. Right? That they are protecting your data, something, and because I don't know how they did that in there, but you guys remember what I'm talking about. It was a very big news then here now on
I
this
think
app that they
I
are
think the
protecting.
Senate.
I forgot what they call that.
I
tax.
think the Senate.
MFLA is the one that did that one.
Obula MFLA, he came in this Tinubu's regime, sometimes this year or last year. I'm very much sure. It has something to do with protection of data and some nonsense like that, right?
Okay.
That they are
I think
deducting.
it's 8 months after Tinubu take office, they did it. Yes, they did it. I remember.
I'm trying to remember the name of that
It seems
particular
the Senate
thing.
rejected that task or something like that. Yeah,
Yes,
They
yes,
I think
rejected
they
it.
rejected
correct.
that this thing.
But my brother, let me tell you, people, by January, February, March, before June, July, Nigeria go here.
I
You are
love
talking about
I love it. I love it. I truly love it.
we go here. We go here because you people are saying that we are capital poverty capital. You never be capital. This one will be capital. My capital letter it could be. Do be capital letter. If they talk about say just this guy get us there, you never see. Do you know that thing that happened in Lagos on 24th December? You know that 3 people from the same family, the same sibling, 3 of them died in that place. One of our guy from China that traveled to see his wife, the guy died up. If you see the guy, if you watch the video, when the guy they give voice note, they say that he's still alive. Even they send voice note out, when they call rescue him.
Sorry, who is speaking? I can't even tell who's speaking.
Vic.
Victory, I mean, give me 30 seconds. Make I read out something. I mean, Steve reply, and Nigerians are mad. I said to God, I think my resolution would be that I will never entertain Nigerians again. Look at what somebody told Ajibusi. So Ajibusi made a post that says, Nigeria too sweet if you get money. That's what Nigerians normally say. And he went on to say, look at Anthony Joshua. Even with somebody's neck is on. Look at Anthony Joshua. Even with his wealth, there were no basic paramedics on the spot. When we demand the bare minimum, some of you act like we are foolish. Now listen to what a Nigerian replied. A girl called Amamokesa or this thing, Isimeme or something like that. Told Ajibusi, you are making these demands for a better Nigeria from the comfort of North America. In it, it's easy to be a visionary from over there. Did you hear that? You are making these demands for a better Nigeria from the comfort of North America. In it, it's easy to be a visionary from over there. My brother, Nigerians on in 2026. You said I'm going to find trouble. What kind of rotten mindset is this? Somebody who is clamoring for better life for you. Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Nigeria. Let's say she matter UK, the first reply.
Ndubisi man nkuye ateta some people here head. When look at Nigeria, the mama Peter Obi abu president. I support him. Mobu president no block president. And this will be with that country. I'm telling you the honest.
I believe this country is filled with mad people. Honestly speaking, I don't think we are normal in this country. Like, how do you think that somebody Ajibusi does not need to do this? He's an American citizen. He's in the US military. He can afford forget everything about it. But he still found a way to use his platform to clamor for a better life for you. And you are asking him why he is clamoring for a better life for you from the comfort
It be
of
like say
America.
you know even see the guy reply.
This is madness. Are Nigerians no more?
Him and Aku no go, no. If it never happened to you, no go, no. You understand? I hear when one guy say, why the guy don't see the truck where back to road? I just think, and the guy say, can any truck park on the road for more than 4 hours in that Canada where you stay? Let me tell you, for this Indonesia where I dey now, as I dey talk to you now, this area where they get 3 ambulance for this area where I stay for inside this place now. They get 3 ambulance. Anything that happens in less than only say, let me say, I'm going somewhere 3 days ago, and the one guy didn't say the guy because around that guy 12 o'clock midnight. The guy maybe the guy they sleep for a bike. The guy they drive by they sleep. The guy want to jam something, and the guy bike will carry me. See, they look, they point the guy. They see what is happening. Before we know, the guy can't jam something. You know, immediately because I just go there, drop something, they return back. Immediately before we reach that place, ambulance don't carry that guy. We just fall. The guy fall for bike. You ambulance. Have you seen any place in Nigeria? Keke get us there. You see bike there. You see ambulance there. Keke, even Keke. You see, Nigeria never happened to you. You go there, say, yes, you can talk anyhow because you stay abroad, and maybe you know grow to speak. I grow for nature. I know what they tell you. People they buy every day. Government no care. They will not care. They will not care. They will never care because let me tell you, if people be enter, they are trying to make the system work. They go frustrate and die. I know what happened to Jonathan when Jonathan wants to make country work. They go frustrate and he say he go use a man say he can resign. So as this country day, my brother, the best way is that if there is any way the country can be, if not make right, but let everybody mind his own region. You see, all those things will stop. If I talk now, they go say that people are the Biafra. I'm not the Biafra, but I'm talking about the better country. The country where my son, my children go grow. We go now. What for this thing, though? If this is the happen, it pay me a lot because we have everything it will take. We have it. What are we doing? And then all of us have so many of us have people abroad. See how it's happening there. If we see them come back, they will be booming. They will be doing another thing differently. And anybody that become a politician, the mindset will change immediately. What is happening? The country can never work. Look at how Gumi is moving around, supporting terrorists openly, and nothing is happening. Look like everything is normal. You see, we have a country. Can a country work like this? Ask yourself question. If you sit down, if you see anyone you see, it doesn't concern me. But ask yourself, are we still living like this by next 5-10 years? 2031, what are you think? If this country starts doing like this in 2031, where are we going to be? No stable life, no road, nothing. Social amenities that make country work. Government is not even trying to do it at all. Look at how our road is. You are talking about that road. That road is. Let me tell you, do you know that what is time now? This country, as I am in Indonesia, if it's just 12 minutes, 5 minutes after 12, like they will start building road. Till 4:30, the road will stop. They don't build road apart from in the night. You can never see any truck on the road or see any nonsense in the road apart from in the night. It's only the night they build road. How do they build road? Road will be very solid with everything that makes road to work. And ambulance will be passing the road looking for any problem. If any problem, they will pick the person immediately to hospital. The hospital are what? That is social amenities. Government is not ready to provide it. You see the kind of go slow we have this December when people are going back home. If you talk now, they go say, "Hey, you be Biafra, you be this one, you be this." They go just corner you for one thing. Just make sure that they go. I don't even understand the way they think. Look at what you are reading now, and somebody is the one tweeting it. I don't know, my brother. Sometimes I think why
I
are we
don't
there?
know, Vicky. I don't know why you guys bring this emotional blackmail. Like, if you're Biafra, does that mean you don't have a voice to speak? Is it not your content? You can talk.
Me, I'm a Biafran. I'm just not an IPOB. Okay, that anytime I be a Biafran man, but I know
I have
the
a question for you people. Why
No,
is it that
that is what
why
they
is
used to
it
call
why
us.
is it that the first thing that comes to your mind as an Igbo person is division? Why is it that you don't learn from history? Why is it that out of about 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, now only
God
una
will
they
punish
talk
you.
about
God will
division?
punish you. Punish
What,
you.
what
If
are
you
you
Why?
saying?
say
What are
God
you saying?
punish
I want to
you.
understand you. I want to wait. Let's
Madman.
understand him because we are trying the country to
You
work. If you see that,
don't want
let
to
me tell you.
understand.
So why is it that yes? Why is it that now only you? If you go around this country, if you go to the north, to the core north, they don't want division. They like Nigeria the way it is, right? Wait,
Speaking. It is stupid Calabar.
No.
I am
The
a
guy is
stupid
making
Calabar
point. The guy is making point.
Oga,
Allow him
you
to
are not
talk.
a
He's making a
Oga.
point.
So if you go to the middle belt,
Wait. In the basic, let's ask the important question. Is the truck still there or have they removed it? Not all these division truck. Is the truck still
The truck is still
These are the kind of questions we need to be asking.
How are they
guys,
going
how
to
come
remove
they
it
talk
in
about
Nigeria?
division? You should not be
In
learning
Nigeria, they
from
will
you,
remove
learn
the
from
truck.
history.
Maybe the truck is owned by Dangote now, so they will not remove it. Do you know how many Dangote have blocked the road for more than
it's
3
not
weeks?
it's not Dangote. It's not
Okay,
Dangote truck.
okay, it's
It's
another
not
person.
Dangote truck.
That
It's all
is
these trucks that they use to transport like
Because if
livestock and
we
food.
don't understand what is going on, you see, let us just talk the known people, the celebrities. This thing that happened to AJ, this was how Dagreen died. Exactly how Dagreen died. This was the same thing that Rico Smavi also, right? You see, impediment on the highway. I don't know how else. I don't know how. About that, yes. Hold the mic up here. Be emotional there.
Can I say
So,
something?
I was.
Hold on.
I was
There is cousin, please hold on. They said they said tell that guy in that dual lane. Yes, Nigeria has a fault, but the driver was either drunk or over speeding or couldn't handle the steering when it maneuver. I don't know why Nigerians like making excuses for things. This was from Saddam, so I don't know why you guys like making excuses. So what will now happen to you when you start blaming the government for not providing good roads to provide the speed limit or even enforcing, bringing laws that what they call them, the traffic officers to enforce those speed, to arrest those that are involved in those. You did not think about all those things those things can even make all the accidents not to happen. All you are concerned about is people were drunk and all these things. A lot of people do drink and drive in this country. Some of them will not even go far. They will stop them. Police will stop them and they will like I don't know what is wrong with Nigerians actually. You give excuse. There's nothing accidents happen, yes, I understand. But these guys are not driving a sports car. That they are driving a sports car that they are speeding enough for them not to be able to control all this. You guys continue making excuses. Continue.
Assuming that we are in video now, we show you something. There is where they are repairing road this place. Do you know there is before like more than 5 poles before you get to that place? They put something, red something, and that thing is doing win. If you get to that place, you will know that something is happening there. Before like 3 poles again, before you get there, you will see 2 people holding red something. They will be moving it up. They are there 247. They are there 24 in federal load. They are there 247 until that road will be finished. But in Nigeria, there is nothing like that.
If anybody would ever tell me that Nigeria will have an opportunity to come and defend this accident, blaming people in one or two ways without even raising their voice to talk about solutions or even blame the government for not providing all these amenities, I will not believe it. Or you guys should continue. When I tell us 60 grand,
Honestly, they try you. Were you not here when people asked you to show them the dead bodies of the people that were killed at the toll gate?
no,
You know
I
they
know
here.
they when they talk down. I know they.
You don't know
Ah,
the caliber of
But
athletes
tell
now,
them
Nigerians
now.
are
wait,
dealing with.
Where are the
now,
bodies?
but this one now Dan, where they tell me about good governance, where they tell me say this one, that one. Now they talk about this thing. Like
With Dan.
Dan, now Dan. Yeah,
Sadan.
but
Okay. Wait till Sadan talk. I
it's
don't hear
wetin
him.
him talk. Say that guy speaking that the dual lane. Yes, Nigeria has his fault, but the driver was either drink or that drunk or overspeeding and couldn't handle the steering when it's maneuver. Then who are you going to blame? I bet no, they see people when they drunk, they drive for this country. The police they stop them for road. When all those things in place in Nigeria before you start blaming people for doing all these things.
There's no reason for a truck to be there for 3 days.
We are just saying I
We
don't
have
have
people
3
that
days.
we have people that we
Nigerian
pay
highway
every
police
month.
when they drink before they dey highway. I beg.
All your local, all your transport company
Question: all these
drivers, all of
things,
them, they
does
smoke
it
drinks
mean
when
that
they drive.
Nigerians do not have the imagination, right, to to govern their society?
Yes,
Grandma,
They don't
the
have.
now you
system,
are
the
the ask.
system
Now,
is
Isaac,
scattered.
this thing you said now, this thing you said is true. Because these are the people clamoring. Like when P2B came up yesterday and said all this traveling, he has been traveling to different countries. Do you think he's traveling just to become a vice president? We were laughing at him. But you see it now. I didn't mean that don't travel, go different countries. You know go make this statement. You know go make that statement. I bet you. I didn't mean you don't go different countries, they advance. You know go make this statement. Because
So
there was everything in place for that accident not to happen. If it happen, you go know say yes, this is an accident. I don't just understand people.
So you are
The
saying we don't
system
have
is corrupt.
the mental capacity. Is that what you are saying? Because
I don't
eh,
understand what this mental
Not,
capacity.
no,
that's what I
no,
mean by
not
imagination now. That's what I mean by
no,
imagination now.
mental
See people
capacity is
coming
there.
up
I
here.
was using
Are
the
you not seeing your
euphemism.
citizens?
I was
Are you not
using
seeing
the
your citizens?
euphemism, right? Euphemism. That's what I use the imagination,
Like
right?
no, okay, guys, and
If
if
I want to
anybody will
be,
tell you, okay,
if I want to be
anybody, I dey see,
straightforward, I will tell
okay,
you
wait.
it doesn't mean that we don't have the required IQ to govern
Who,
ourselves.
that IQ of the thing that you're talking about, now I'm believing it because a girl came up here, she was just laughing that we are crazy, that we are funny people. What is funny? Because at the that is that is what is funny. And they say
This Biko, don't be offended. Hey, Grandmaster, good evening, everyone. Sorry if I picked up the mic. I know I just came up from Twitter, so I was going to that. When issues like this comes up, I think there's always the liberty of everybody to probably express their stuff. Like I rightly said, the government has its own faults. We're not going to probably doubt that, but how am I going to put it? We Nigerians are already used to the system right now. I think back then when I was in school, I think we protested to block the Umudike that leads down to Akwa Ibom. Why? A bus that was carrying the passengers hit a stationary car and stumbled upon a student, and the student died instantly. A final student for that matter. The next day, no bus passed through Mudike down to Akwa Ibom. It was shut down 24 hours for that particular day. Even after the VC came to probably give a speech or probably to calm things down, we were there all throughout. What I'm trying to say is that from the picture we're seeing, it's a stationary car being parked someplace for 3 days, or I get that point. But when you look at the lane, I'm just only giving my own observation as a driver who has been traveling in Nigeria for long. When you look at the lane, it's a dual lane that even 3 cars can pass. Like it's a dual lane into 2. 3 cars can even go at the get go, and also a parking stop there. So it's just like, for example, when you're traveling on the highway, I can decide to park my vehicle and just get out to ease myself. With people who are traveling on the road this specific period, you will witness such things. So let's just imagine for a split second that that vehicle has not been parked there for 3 days. The driver just came down to stretch his leg, probably get something for a close by store before resuming his journey. And we are having a lane that is in dual lane that a car can go to and fro. But on that particular lane, it's not a to and fro lane, it's a one-way lane. And you drive to hit up a parking or a stationary car. And when you look at the the damages that was done on that particular car, you know it's over speeding. So that's how I just probably say it's either it's over speeding, the driver could not probably control the steering, maybe somebody there was drunk, or the driver itself was drunk. Anything could happen. One of my guys had an accident. I think by this time last year. What really happened? He was just driving on a two-way lane, and he was trying to overtake from the passenger side. And you don't overtake from the passenger side. Immediately that car swerved in, boom! He flew off the walkway and everything. When I mean car damage beyond repair, from the back side down to the passenger seat, half of the car gone. A car he newly bought for about 7 or 8 million naira then. He sold it off for about 3 million, because it was only the engine and the driver that he sold out. So I'm only giving my own perspective, my brother, on PC. From what I saw, like, it's an avoidable accident, like everybody have said. Those of you who have lived in civilized advanced world countries, you have your own sense to give. But we in Nigeria, that probably we run on this thing on regular basis. That is the two cents I can give. That even at that, it's an avoidable accident. Why the car is still parked stationary, I still feel that stuff like this won't have happened on two bases. Either you are overspeeding or the driver is drunk. That is just my 2 cents on that. Thank you very much.
And I want to ask you a question.
Wait,
Whose work is to check overthink and that's it.
Grant, just
Whose job?
Wait. I
No,
don't
no,
think
no. I
people
think
are
actually, I think actually,
I don't think people
actually,
are
Madan, Kaiser, because what want to leave people meet to my day. Ajo, Kaiser, I don't think I actually don't disagree with Sadan. You understand? When it comes to the entire, Nigeria happening to Anthony, I've always, hinged on 2 points. First, that truck was not supposed to be there. Number one. Number two, there were no emergency services. Those guys could have survived, because I've come to realize in Nigeria that there's a high possibility that a lot of people who have been pronounced dead at accident scenes were not actually dead. That they could have actually been saved if they were actually taken to the hospital, right? But whether Anthony Joshua himself had some faults, yes, I'm waiting for the comprehensive report to come up. I want to believe that, because I keep asking myself, how did this happen in broad daylight? This is not a night time, because if you remember when I asked you, NBC, is it possible that there were chevron, or there's a kind of a corner, it was a sharp corner, right? And he couldn't see the truck. This can only happen in the night, or if there's a sharp corner. But it was in broad daylight. And if I look at that road is straight. It doesn't look like a corner. So I think Anthony Joshua himself has some blame. The thing is that toxicologists will have to first of all take a look at him. When he gets to the UK, I believe they're going to take a sample to see if it was intoxicated. You
But it's
understand?
not just
And
that is
then
driving the
he seemed he's the one that is driving, because if you look at
no.
if you
Sam,
look
no,
at
he
the
was not the one.
He was on the passenger seat.
It was at the passenger.
but if you look at the vehicle, unless maybe sometimes if you take a picture, you will switch like how phones are, like you change the direction. If you look at that car, it seemed like the part that was smashed in was the passenger side,
No, it's the
right?
front, this thing.
There was
No,
a
the other
driver.
side.
Yeah,
The
I
other
understand what
side.
you're saying, but there was a driver. He was not driving.
Is that the driver's side that
Yeah,
smashed in?
the driver.
You know,
But I find it very unlikely that in that vehicle there were three of them, and the person who will be driving in Nigeria will be people who have never been to Nigeria, and Anthony Joshua will be the one watching them.
No,
I don't know.
There
I
are
don't have
four.
the details.
There are
Guys,
four
yeah.
in the car. There are four in the car. Anthony,
Two survived and
two
two
they
died.
survived, two die. Yes.
What about
So
sorry, no vex. What about the escort?
So who was the driver?
What about the escort? Because they
The
had
driver did not die, and the Musa did not die. Two of them did not die.
And who was the
I
driver?
don't know, but the driver did die.
The driver is Nigeria. He's like his brother. He's a relation from him. It's a relation.
Okay. Let's just say
Okay.
he's. Wait, I'm asking. They say they went to the escort. Were they driving behind them or in front of them? So they
Though
said
they,
they would have picked him up at the police people.
They went with
Yeah, they did.
escort.
they have two cars now. The other one is not happy as them. That's what we are saying. Because
So
that
that
thing
means the
now,
other one is for the other person was the security of the escort.
that one doesn't have us. That one.
Anyway, the point I'm making is that the accident is still very weird to me. And again, let me not say this. So this might sound a little bit, conspiratorial, right? But is it possible that the person who smashed that car into that vehicle, that trailer, did it on purpose? Is it possible?
No, it can never.
These are some of the things.
It can
No,
never.
no. You guys, no. You guys may think that these things are far fetched,
But
but
it's
actually there have
possible,
been
actually.
multiple. It's possible there have been multiple incidents where it was established that a driver who was driving somebody else deliberately smashed the vehicle into something else, into an obstacle, just to have the person in that vehicle injured.
Yes.
So here's what I'm saying is that if you look at this number one, it's broad daylight. There's no way you could have missed that truck, and the road was straight. So I agree with Saddam to a certain degree that they also have their own blame. Will I blame Anthony Joshua himself? I thought he was the one driving. I wouldn't, because sometimes when you have the passenger in the seat, you understand, people lack the courage to actually correct the person who is driving the vehicle. I don't know. That thing is something psychological, right? Maybe he could have done more. You understand? Ask the person to reduce the speed, but maybe he didn't do it. So am I gonna blame him? I don't have the details, but I think there are some mistakes that they made that made them end up at the back of that truck, because that was a
the
broad
truth
daylight
of the matter
accident.
is, what causes accident? Mistakes, For me, I've always said here, if you look at my own submission from the beginning of this conversation,
Mistake and overestimating yourself and the vehicle you are driving.
but like
You
I said,
understand?
mistakes happen.
Mhm. I have watched this one live in my own two eyes, right? I was driving on the A3 on the way to Munich, and there's that A3 has a lot of sharp curves, and I saw a particular. I was getting close to the sharp curve. A particular guy who was driving one of the fast cars there, right? He went by, and with that speed, you understand, he jumped into that sharp curve, and this car flew off completely. Like this happened right before my very eyes. Flew completely. Like I never knew that cars could go this airborne. This car flew completely off the asphalt, off the autobahn, and flew into the bush completely. Right? That is number one, overestimating the vehicle you are driving, and also overestimating your own ability. These things are very much important, but people don't know these things. They think that because you have a fast car, you must make that car go fast at every point in time. No, when you have a fast car, that is where you should be more careful, especially if that car is moving with much higher horsepower than normal, right? So these things are some of the things you have to also put into consideration. That's what is the experience of the person who was driving them in the first place. Is this your regular Nigerian who claims that he's a good driver? Because I just came back from Nigeria on the 18th, and I'm sorry, I don't think Nigerians know how to drive vehicles. They're some of the worst drivers you can ever engage or encounter.
Never see
Right?
anything.
How many Nigerians they go driving school?
But in Nigeria, they all claim they know how to drive. So the person who drove this car, you understand, what is his qualification? How long has he been driving? What does he understand about speeding and also maintaining contact all the time with your environment while you're
That
speeding?
is what we're
So
talking
these are
about,
the
the
things.
system. The system is not working because we don't have any driving license. They just come there, carry flag, drive.
What's the thing? Joshua is not a newbie in Nigeria. So yeah, please an assumption. So before we get it validated, he's always coming here. So to a reasonable extent, it could be that guy that been driving him, brother, cousin, or anything. He's not a newbie. Not one.
Also, let me tell you something again, Charlie P. I've always warned people, whenever you're in Nigeria, avoid speeding. It's not because you cannot or your car is not that fast, right? Here, we love speeding, right? We know it. The reason why is that Nigerian roads are very unpredictable, right? Potholes can pop out anywhere, even on a very smooth looking road. Any pothole can pop up at any given point in time. What is your reaction time to that pothole? So always treat, while you're driving Nigeria, especially on highways, always treat it as if the next 200 meters you're going to meet a very big pothole. Always be on the alert. Because You might see a clear road and say, oh, let me just zoom off. From nowhere, a pothole will just pop out. From nowhere. You understand? And that is it. So, we don't know the details of this accident, but I personally want to believe that there must have been something that had gone wrong for them to run into the back of that trailer, because this was broad daylight. People don't make this kind of mistakes in broad daylight. Very rare, right? Or maybe they were all intoxicated. Because when you are intoxicated, you overestimate your own abilities, right? And that is when you think that, this is where they foul, you don't understand this thing. You can no longer, your sense of depth, that is what they call it. Your sense of depth suffers extensively when you become drunk. You can no longer measure distance and understand how, the distance actually works. So we need to know all these things. But for now, we don't have the details until these samples are taken on him, and then the report comes out, because I know Britain is going to bring out the report, because Anthony Joshua is a very prominent person in the UK. They're going to bring out the report, tell exactly what happened to him. Maybe, I suspect that maybe they were drunk. That is the possible explanation I can give. Otherwise, there's no same person that will run into the back of the truck in broad daylight.
Look,
It's
I
very,
just
very
want to
rare.
say something on the jump.
It goes back to Nigeria
Hold on,
anytime.
please. Hold on. I just posted something on Jumbotron ground. Can you just take a look at it? This is how the
Okay, is it the crash impact? I'm looking
just
at it right now.
take a
Yeah.
look at. Okay, I don't know who is supposed to speak. I
Okay.
can be calling you.
There is something I want to say before the hike. Yeah, if you are like what you said, the ground there. If you are going back to Nigeria, remember that the road is not good. Remember that there is no 80% of Nigeria that are driving, they don't go any driving school. Hear me? It's very important. So don't go there and drive like you want to you go and drink or go club and you want to drive far place. Don't do that.
In Nigeria,
Please.
when you are driving your car, you are also driving someone else's car. That is the mentality. Maybe you hit the road. Just that you are driving your car.
How
you are
many
also
Nigerians they go driving school? Nobody say if you
I've
your
gone through this.
papa,
I've seen something.
use
I've
your
seen
papa
something. So
or
these
your
are my
brother car.
hypotheses. Guys, because just come on to be here. I've seen something. These are my hypotheses. 3, right? Maybe the first one will be eliminated because, like I said, from what I've seen, the video I've seen, that road seems to be a straight road. That they were bending and did not see that vehicle. If you look at that movement, right, it shows that a quick turn was done. Like they tried to stop very quickly, right? So it's possible that they did not see the truck first. If that is the manual, because from looking at that diagram, the person tried as much as possible to save that vehicle. But somehow the side of the vehicle, the right side of the vehicle smashed into that truck. So the person was definitely maneuvering at that particular point in time, maybe trying to escape. That is number one. Maybe the truck was obscuring their view. They did not see it, and they saw it late. The one that I think is the most likely one is drunkenness. I suspect this. Most times when you are drunk and you are driving, you will not know this. But people, this is exactly how the police gets to find out who is drunk. They cannot see you inside that car, but there's something they watch. That's how they get to suspect that you are drunk in that vehicle and they start following
Yeah,
you.
but
Is
there's
that
still
you?
something that said that if your tire pop,
Yes, that's another thing. But I'm just giving this hypothesis of what I'm looking at this, and that the vehicle was okay, right? It's because when you are drunk, you often leave your own lane. Whenever you are drunk, you often leave your own lane. There's this subtle movement either to the right or to the left. But this movement is always constant. Even when they correct themselves, when they correct themselves, they begin that movement again. Maybe after 50 meters or 100 meters, they begin that movement to the right or to the left. Maybe they were making that movement and they noticed that they were about to hit something and try to correct and then they miss. Or my final hypothesis, they were dodging a pothole. You understand? That is also a possibility that they are dodging a pothole, and in the process of dodging a pothole, they understand they quickly smash into this thing and then hit that truck. So it could be anything. That's why idea of
What
yeah.
about? See, I have another question. What about people? People are coming, and someone is overtaking the car that is coming. I mean, maybe since the road is three-way drive, as maybe a car is coming, another person is trying to overtake the car, and they are trying to dodge that distance. What about this kind of scenario? I think this one is
I
very
think the road is a double this thing.
Why don't you look at it?
Double
Grant,
lane,
look at it
right?
this way.
Double lane road.
When you look at one of the pictures on the jumbotron, the damaged chassis itself did not. You see that the vehicle did not receive the first impact from the middle of the vehicle. It received the first impact from the right fender, and even at that, even the right side mirror, and the right side door was torn apart. What does that tell you? The driver was sane. The driver was sane and active. The driver knew what he was doing. Unfortunately, it happened. I am looking at it like, because if the driver is drunk, he would have died. Like he would have run into that vehicle. He
Was
wouldn't
there
have
no
seen it.
break?
But hold on. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. For the tip of the front chassis to have the first impact, the human in the driver is an instinct of a driver to protect himself. And that's why when I'm not driving, if I'm in your car, I must sit behind the driver. Because in cases like this, you must want to protect yourself. You see, I think that car developed a problem at high speed.
Yeah,
And the
probably
intent, hold on.
tire bust, right?
Hold
Maybe
on.
tire.
Not just tire. No. If your tire burst on high speed, you won't travel in a straight direction. Right?
No.
So
See, no.
hold on.
What
Let me
happened
just drop it
slam
so I don't lose my train of thought. Please just hold on. I'm thinking that car developed problem on high speed. And the intent of the driver was to bring the car to a stop by sliding on an object. Sliding. That's the key word here, sliding. Because I've seen this happen many times. If you are someone that traveled so much in Lagos Apapa Expressway, you will see where
The
trucks
problem will be that his brake stopped.
hold
wrong,
on.
then
Trucks, have issues, and they use another fellow truck to slide and stop. That is my decision. Then now I'm going to ask this question. That car is carrying Anthony Joshua. Where was that car last standing before it went on that journey? They should go back to that place and look on the floor. If there's a brake fluid leakage on the floor, they need to go back there and check where the car was known to have stood last. Was it a residential place? Was it a hotel? Where exactly did that car stand last? Unoccupied. Look at the floor. If the brake line has been loose, yes, if your brake line has been loose, your car will still start. You will still move because your master brake and reservoir still has fluid in it. But when you go on the highway, it bleeds out. Then when the driver notices that I'm out of brake, what do? I need to bring this car to a stop. Most of these cars, electronic cars, they are using handbrake. That means it's not going to work when the car is in motion. So you need to look for a object, and that's why when you see highways with crash waves on the side, tension crash waves on the side, so that when you run on it in a sliding pattern, it absorbs that those with physics, right? It absorbs that energy from the coming object and brings it to a stop. That's what I presume the guy is trying to do. But unfortunately,
No. Stop. You don't slide. You do not slide when you're on speed. The only time you have those objects to stop is when your car is slow. Once you're on speed, the friction between your tire and the road is very minimal. Even the slightest touch can deflect that car off the road.
Yeah,
You
that
don't.
is something I wanted to say because
You
this car
don't.
was really on over speeding.
So sorry, Saddam. So Saddam, if you can throw hypothesis, tire fee bust, brake fee fail, these are possibilities. But what he or probably overtaken to, maybe he overtook, and before he could slide back into his own lane, that car was there. And without speed, you're trying to.
if your tire burst, people are not driving tubeless now.
if your tire burst, you understand, the only issue you have is when you step on the brakes, right? And you're gonna spin. Trust me, you're
No,
gonna
no, no, no,
spin,
no, 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 no.
right?
Softy. It's because the experience. Softy, if I never run mat, I don't be drive in 1999. If your tire burst, you slam brake, that car go tumble. If your tire burst, you know hold your steering firm.
It depends on the kind of car where they drive. Okay, calm down. Calm down.
Your car is
I
somersault
tell you,
immediately
if
now.
your tire burst, you slam brake.
Somersault instantly.
Your car go tumble. If your tire burst and you know your mind know they conscious of the road, you know hold your steering firm. Softy, your car go deflect. Come
Yes, now what you Jota do that now? At the tire
so that
burst,
it can happen. And that's why
Well,
if I get
I will tell
speed,
you. I will tell you
wait
what.
now,
When you
calm
talk
down. Now
about
that's why if I get high speed and they move and I just notice anything, the first thing I know they slam brake and they come on my leg from accelerator, and I go hold my steering tight. Not everybody gets friends to do that. If you never enter situation, you don't go know. I tell you, it's funny, but it's
my pops told me that apparently it was actually discovered that when an accident is about to occur, a lot of people who wish to apply brake often end up in their throttle.
Bam!
And this even leads to the car
Grandmaster,
slamming
bam!
into that particular
Grandmaster,
object
bam!
out of panic. Yeah. And this happens very often. It's actually been proven that it happens very, very often. People slam on their throttle instead of brake. So the panic, it's just like these things are not easy. You never know what you're gonna do if you're not in this situation. I know, like it's like when people say if you lose your brake, right? People will tell you to use engine braking, right? Okay. If you're doing driving manual, start downshifting gradually, or if you are using automatic, you understand, put it into neutral, start gradually engaging, your handbrake, just slowly engaging your handbrake. This is my sound, easy to do when you're just reading them. You understand? Or somebody just telling you this thing, but when you are in the heat of the moment, trust me, it's just like a drowning man. They are looking for anything to grab. You understand? They are looking for anything. Even the person is out there to save them, they will drag that person down to that this thing with them because they're looking for a way to get out of there. That's exactly the same thing that happening. Your mind will not even go to that. Many people end up smashing the brake multiple times, even exacerbating the issue. So, like I said, we don't know the details. What I would say is that let's just wait and see what the report brings. You
I
understand?
just saw one
But
thing,
for now,
I just want
there's
something you said.
Yes.
You said something that probably maybe the hospital, the medical system, maybe those guys would have survived if there was an emergency. I think I don't know. I've seen one of those guys got cut off, like scattered. So I mean, this one I at a spot.
Is that what they said?
I will put it up here.
Hey, no, I beg, I know
I said
it's your,
head,
I know it's
head, kata, head. The cut head come.
So
Yeah,
that is a heavy collision. That is a heavy
grandmaster
collision.
is
That is
making
literally
is
that is not how
but the point grandmaster is making,
Or 250.
the point
Now, I really don't know I've not really checked the brand of that car. But that
grandmaster is making is that at times when people are said to be dead at accident scene and they may not actually be dead yet, right? So you find out that when you
not only in accident scenes, right?
Yes.
A lot of people who have been pronounced dead in Nigeria. So let me just say a lot of people. Some people have been pronounced dead in Nigeria were not actually dead.
Yeah. The video, Baba.
No post
No,
time.
we are not talking about
just.
I
don't want to see this guy.
I did not even see that part.
Check on. So Kaizen. So a lot of people who are not okay. Let me say some people who actually died were not actually dead, right? It's just that discovered that in Nigeria nurses are very quick to pronounce people dead.
This one they buy immediately that it confirm. No be the video to tell you to confirm.
Even at that, normally if there was an emergency service, it was supposed to be paramedics that would declare him dead.
Huh?
You understand? Any single moment you waste, right, could be used to save that person's life. Sometimes shock will throw you into a coma, right?
Yeah.
And the person is still alive somehow. He may not be physically breathing, but the brain is still functional and the heart is still functional. All they need to do is to find a way somehow to jumpstart the person back to life. and then start an emergency
Grandmaster,
treatment on
check
that
the
person.
video
But
now.
this is Nigeria. No, I don't want to check them now. I don't tell
Just
you.
check us more.
I don't want to. Please stop.
Grandmaster,
Stop.
don't
Beg,
stress
please
me.
stop.
This is
Beg.
Omo,
the
this one
Afghanistan
you come out.
that is better.
I know they. I don't like all these
Come
guys.
on, I
Please, I
don't see
beg.
that video. That guy help.
No, the
Please
guy
don't
help.
die.
Yeah, that guy is
But
see.
the other guy, but the other guy
if you
look
look
like
at
the other guy look like if there is emergency immediately, the guy messes. Because if you look at how the guy like that means the guy struggled before he go on, he give up. You understand?
Yeah,
The second guy.
that
Bro,
like
that
this.
was different.
If even be say that guy, see, I don't know, Grandmaster. Have you seen where these convoy, like they say, they have their own other car? You don't see all these convoy they dey for road. Just fight like
I mean, like governor convoy, these
yeah, all
politicians
those
convoy.
convoy. They run like mad people. They just feel that nothing they happen to be VIP or Yamo the place and they go. You might just look at it, they just want to overtake the certain vehicle. And boom, at least just when they travel on the highway. See, the way when they look on this truck, oh, come out with you see truck now, 20.
I don't follow those people fight before. I don't follow one convoy fight before for Enugu for Utiba Junction. These people just they hurry me. They blow horn. Get out of the road, also get out of the road. Also. Next thing they took out Koboku to flog me. Now that we got park you was up. You move about one each back. Look at really see the person. You know, at the end of the day, you know what they did? After because there was like kind of traffic around. Again,
Ife na-ekwu na-atọ ya bụ na adị anyị.
onye na-achịkwa n'ọchị ya bido.
na the word wey you use na Koboko, that was na woman.
Okay, I don't know that. But anyway, I told them that if this Koboko talk me for body, I could use this cap because they were like, they were carrying like bosses. I think they're carrying like some elderly people in there. I think they need like that. But right? So, am I supposed to jump from this? You can clearly see that I'm blocked. Am I supposed to jump, carry my car on the head, and then move it to the side of the road or what? Right? You know what is the idea at the end of the day? They later broke my side mirror. They, like after I read and everything, I told them, oh my God, guys, touch my this in touch with me. I need this car. They, just antagonize me. One of them kicked my side mirror and broke that side mirror. And the car was driving out. There was a VW Touareg. That side mirror for VW Touareg is electrical. You can never find it again in Nigeria. For you to be able to repair it, you must have a camp. You need to go back to Germany and go and buy that particular thing. So this is how vindictive and useless these guys are. So these days when I see them, I just simply avoid them. But the point I'm making is this, right? I think emergency services in Nigeria is a necessity. And I think Nigerians should please, sometimes I feel like I should go on my knees and beg Nigerians to fight for their own lives, right? Like this is not going to get you anywhere. There are notices that you guys can tolerate anything.
Grandmaster, look at our faces on this space as we talk.
And there's no limit they will not push this thing. There's no limit they will not push it. Every day we come up here to tell me the reason why on federal highway you shouldn't have, what do you call it, first station. No point. But the point I'm making is this.
Nigeria get money giving man to these people.
They could still have. You understand? But maybe like stations, right? Do like small stations.
They go still
and put maybe a course.
They go still have.
There and let them do these things.
Let me tell you one very funny story. I don't do vessel. Wait, hold on. I don't do vessel for Nigeria. I don't do vessel for Nigeria. We reach port. Person carry our AED go sell. AED. Person come out. That is fellow Salomon come out town for vessel. Go sell AED.
That one a normal level.
That is the thing we go make you there. That is if you send something to you, then we go bring you back to life. If you still have 10,000 naira, give one doctor for Port Harcourt. So even if sometimes even if there are provisions for these things,
our people self gone, we know they try. And
No,
that brings me to another topic,
I
man.
disagree. I
Most of
disagree
our
with
cars
you.
who try for Nigeria,
Brother, look at it
I
this way.
disagree with you.
This is called, see, let me tell you,
Cousin,
leadership.
cousin,
Leadership.
cousin, make I make one statement, make it talk a bit. Grandmaster said something here. And look, and this grandmaster, you know, when we need to start with ourselves. Look, all our faces for this place. We resemble serious people. If it come out, they demand for better something for this country. Start from this Saddam. Saddam face me. Look my face. Look all our faces. Let this be honest, my brother. We're not serious. Now somebody say if they provide a people still have ordinary safe, many nights ordinary people for this country not see. But the police, safe, army, people, the road safety, all those people you put in places to execute this law, they were once Nigeria like us. They're also thieves. Look, they have to be law and order. Law and order needs.
Not be your politicians thief rice where UNICEF send you now.
When person smoke
Not be your
finish,
politicians
when person smoke finish, the person knows seafood where we go eat. What did the person go
rice, so rice when they send, when they give poor people for as palliative for COVID. With our politicians
Yes,
still have.
Grandmaster, why do you say now? I'm not a politician. I'm just.
Rice and
This is.
I said
That's
Nigeria
okay.
politicians.
So this is.
That's
now.
all.
Wait now. You know why? Now people like me, Sadan, and other people that we go still become politicians tomorrow, and we go still up. Nigeria problem. See, I'm tired. We need to be tired.
My brother, there is nothing poverty cannot do. The only thing, the problem we have is that, let me tell you, when
It's
you
not
when your
poverty.
mind,
It's not poverty.
no.
Vic,
There is
Vic,
the
hold on
70%
now.
of that is
Then
poverty.
we are not ready. See, you see, I kept on saying, I don't know why this the reason why we in this country is because we get this country as just a very peaceful platter of gold. So we don't know what sacrifice is. So you cannot sacrifice poverty and get things right and be prosperous forever. This what Anthony Joshua experienced today. I'm not experiencing that in UK. I'm seeing some foreign handler on this app now tweeting. He has seen that his country is different from where it's benefiting all this and all. It's a disgrace. But Grandmaster, what I came here to say is that look our space faces. Screw this space, go up, scram, go up, scram, go down. Look our faces here. We resemble serious people for this place. Leave all this English so we can come here, they talk.
All of them are thief. All of
We are
them.
thief,
Nigeria is a
idiots.
serious
All
country.
of us, including me. Don't like that word, go and search all of us for here. Nobody is serious. Even this Saddam will
Nigeria.
speak.
But how come the president has tweeted it 2 times in 4 hours on this issue,
You see the one
right? And we have people that died in this Kenya bilateral state where trailer run into them, and nobody's talking about it. Eh?
Nigeria.
Go
What
Nigeria
let's
is
do?
a serious country. It's just
Edo
that
State. Go to Edo State.
it's
Trailer
just
is
that
mashing people leg daily.
it's just that
Mashing people leg
the
daily.
thing that we put our effort in is
Make they go check out how you they see truck when pass for road. You know give people enough so you need you don't enter truck.
Trailer will fall for only coast in the most busiest state. I see it go there from morning to night. Nobody like make I make it for
but
public space. Now all of us dey here, we dey see am. No be true.
Bros, you remember that trailer wey fall for that girl leg for my two
Okay.
first? No,
So now,
Amuwodo.
wait. In fact, if you go park for road, and then you go see tow bar will come tow you. No be say they go tow you go station though. They go tow you enter one street, collect money, free you. Tow bar will come out if you park for road, but tow bar no go come out with truck fall for road. Tell me now.
Does it mean that president did not hear about that story building that fire catch for Lagos? Does it mean that president did not see that one?
Have people seen the emergency response that we have for the kind of emergency? Oh, hi. Nigerians are satanic. Satan, now we be Satan.
Do you
Satan.
is it that you people
Satan
don't
now
have
for this
a
country, Satan fall
of
down. Not if anybody fit talk.
If
Now
I
this
ask
country,
again
Satan fall.
now, it will be that I am
Can
Does
I
it mean
can,
that people
can
don't
I
have
say
the mental
something?
capacity
Can I
to
can I
God,
say
govern
something?
somebody
their
who
own
to
life?
talk to me for this Antonio. I think it's
Can,
not happen.
can, can I say something real quick? I know. I think most Nigerians we have this inferiority complex, right? Unfortunately, because um like there's so many examples where okay, for example, when the whole accident happened, may their souls rest in peace actually. It's a very unfortunate situation. And when I saw it initially, I was because I normally just like to read people's comments just to get an idea of how people think, right? A lot of Nigerians are just like, oh, he needs to leave the country. Oh, and I was like, no, he shouldn't leave the country. He should stay in Nigeria. Obviously, go get treatment in Nigeria. But he should stay in Nigeria and he should be questioned. Like two people lost their lives because that was when the information was fresh, right? Because I wasn't sure exactly. So, I was getting abused and insulted. Like, people were saying all sorts of things about me because I said Anthony Joshua needs to be held in Nigeria and held accountable.
You're not supposed to be ADC member. I check your profile, ADC member. Why?
What does that have to do with anything?
Why would you ask him to stay in Nigeria? What do you have in Nigeria? Where is Nigeria?
People die.
What is Nigeria?
See, that's the point. It's because and let's say, for example,
Can you treat yourself in Nigeria if you were in this situation?
If I what?
If you were in this situation, would you treat yourself in Nigeria?
The point I'm making
as
is
a president
guy, calm down. Yeah, you're not. I'm not.
As a
Just hold on.
himself in Nigeria.
Just hold on.
Please, my God, forget about this.
Just hold on. Let me
What kind
finish.
of
Let me
investigation?
finish what I'm saying, and then you can rebuttal. But let me finish because I'm not like it's not like a back and forth. So my point is, even while I was making the statement, and I saw the news that he was already being flown out of Nigeria, which is fine. It's just that if Nigeria is wanting to be El Dorado or there's yes, at the current moment, yes, of course, it doesn't bode well. Like you cannot put your life at risk in Nigeria. Obviously, I understand that. But if Nigeria wants to get to a place where they are a respected nation, like the same rules that is held, like the same way that you treat a layman, someone that commits, that does something that doesn't have 1 naira in his bank, should be the same way you treat somebody that has lots of money. Now, let's say, for example, obviously he wasn't at fault. He was in the back seat, right? But for most Nigerians from abroad that come to Nigeria, they feel that they have this mentality that, oh, Nigeria is a lawless country. I can get away with going 200 miles an hour. Nobody is going to question me. Like I'm above the law. But once they leave Nigeria, even go back to any country that they're from, they respect themselves. Nothing changes. The person did not change. The only thing that changes is the fact that he knows he'll be held accountable for his actions, and that's the only thing. But if you come to Nigeria, there's no accountability for
Not to go
anything.
far. AJ was not driving the vehicle.
My brother,
AJ was
I am trying to understand what you are saying. I'm not even understand what. Are you saying that guy will stay in Nigeria, or you are blaming him because they have us? I don't. Let's because you are saying you want to say something. You want to let's hear what because I don't get your point. Though, so the guy will stay in Nigeria and die.
Why I reacted?
Eh? My brother,
he has
sometimes
nothing to
some
say.
people,
He has
some
nothing
people will
to say.
just come like this. You will know that we need to separate some people from the way we. I don't even understand some people.
Why should you hold it down? Why should you hold it down? Is it the driver? He's an occupant. He's an occupant. He's a victim. He can be drunk for God cares. Like nobody cares. He's not driving.
some people, they're not supposed to be right. People like this, when you hear them, you have a reasonable country, you track them, you stop them from driving forever. Because how would you not be the normal, like, you think that you where you be passenger, now you then go come question.
Do you, do you even understand? Let's say, for example, if I don't know if oh my
We are
God.
not taking anything for example.
What are we getting? What are we getting? Because you are saying that he's supposed to be hold down because he come back to Nigeria to celebrate with his family people, and now he was maybe now he's sleeping. Maybe now he was tired sleeping in the back, and the accident happened. They hold
They
him.
ask you.
What are
They
you
ask
talking
you one
about?
question you failed to answer. They ask you if you are the one, will you stay back in Nigeria? You didn't answer that question. You didn't answer that question.
The point is, if I was in, I don't. Okay, let me not even use Nigeria, right? If I'm
Okay, if we're the
calm
one
down
in
now, talk, guy, let me
stay back.
talk.
That's a good
Are
question.
you that daft? Are you a stupid animal? Don't you
Now
know?
you have to start to insult.
If you are
You have
quiet.
to start to. You have to
No,
start to
because you are
insult.
interrupting
That's all
me.
you
I'm
can
trying
do.
to talk. You're being a stupid animal.
As
Shut
the
up.
one, stay
Shut
back.
up.
I'm not here to insult you.
No,
I'm not here
shut
to insult
up.
you.
If you
I'm
shut
not here to
up, let me finish what I'm
If
saying,
you are
please.
one, will you stay back?
Behave,
Simple question.
you're a
Answer.
grown ass man. Behave like a grown ass man.
Okay. Actually, are you here? I just want what allow you to do so that someone will speak and can see if I can handle it alongside. Again, why do it so long?
Where did they put this?
Yeah, so I don't get that. Like, I don't get that right to space for longer.
Ndubisi, no vex. Ndubisi, just give us more time. You see, if he's saying something, now also something there's a now, if Anthony Joshua was in a working country that has a good medical system, Anthony Joshua would have remained in that country to treat himself. There would have been no need of having to flee all the way from a country, cross the whole continent to another continent for treatment. And if there was a working medical system, it would have been here, treat himself, and your useless government would have put it.
Maybe
But
this
in
guy
this
doesn't
situation,
know who is that Anthony Joshua. Go and read about Anthony Joshua
he
very well.
doesn't know.
Who
If
do you
Anthony
wait,
Joshua
wait.
died for this place,
No.
do you
My
know what it means?
the point you are just making is the point that I'm making too. But
This is it.
my
This is
point
it.
is, let's say for
Listen,
example,
I'm
if
coming.
you
Hold
are
on.
in a working country, obviously
See,
nobody, like
Oga,
let's say people
Oga,
just
let
can
me
you
round
please
up.
just calm
Wait,
down?
let me round up with this. Let me repeat what I will not say. God punish any law where say one whole and Joshua now for the sake of equity, because in a rich man or a poor man, which law that is the law provide wetin go be back for here. God punish that law, punish who make am, punish who for it.
My brother, for the whole world, there is no way in the whole world they treat the star and in the same way they treat the poor in anywhere in the world. There is no way you will go to the like US now. You see where the star, you know what they call star? The person that they knock like a WWE, those people that are a weightlifter and all those people, and you see they treat them the same way. What
Anthony
are you talking
Joshua
about?
gave influence. Anthony Joshua gave influence.
Please, let me chip in. If Anthony Joshua is in an accident in such situation, he has to be okay before he can give a statement. His life
Yeah,
matters first.
I'm
So he
like,
has to
I don't know
go
if
and
you guys
be
have.
treated
Wait,
before you talk about
hold on.
investigation. So
Hold on.
he
Because
needs
I
to
was
go to
saying
his doctor.
something, and one after the other, you guys are just coming up and taking up my talking. Like the point is, if somebody is in an accident, you're not going to question. Obviously, like, I don't need to explain that. Like, he needs to be well first, but we need to know. Like, I don't know if is it because like we've been. Can you please just wait? Hey, can you wait?
Wait for what? Wait
Just
for
be
what?
quiet.
He don't go well now. He don't go
Now,
well now.
shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Just shut up, please.
You must not be allowed to give.
I'm not in the mood to insult you, bro. I'm not in the mood to insult
Stop
you.
interrupting me now. If I finish talking, you can talk. Like you're a grown man.
God go punish you.
Don't
Where your
worry.
papa house go
Nigeria
That's
has a lot
what.
of
Yes, let him punish you. He'll punish you too because you're an animal. You don't have common sense. You can't even control yourself. You're like a fucking dog.
No,
You fucking animal. Useless animal like you. You can't control yourself.
this
Control yourself. Jesus.
these things are
from his mouth.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. I don't know. You guys are like, I want to end this. We have Rock and Don that will so that I will speak now. I don't they no matter. She just
I
an
still want
that
us
will
to
go.
I beg, hold on.
If
I
you
still
want,
want
I
us.
beg. I know the space was again. I go just from there. I just said make I host free space. I know saying go not put it space.
Give us
I beg, I see
co-host.
the
We
line.
host.
No, no, I need to close my phone. I know that. Don, Chief, are you done?
Chief is done. Chief is done. Move mic. Chief go make us
Okay,
break.
Don, you have the mic. Don.
Okay, good day, everyone. My condolences to those in life. Rest in peace. I really wanted to speak about the main issues concerning them, like because this thing that came up. The only reason why we're really talking about it is because, as into this level, is because of the people involved. People die every day in Nigeria, and the terrible thing, every day we hear about bad news. So I feel like this is a very clear evidence that we have to try to work on the major issues and look forward, especially towards the elections coming up and everything. But before we think about trying to face the election, because there are a lot of challenges in elections and everything, and trying to keep fighting and things don't work. I think as individuals, we are the real Nigerians. It's not people that are controlling us that are the Nigerians. Those are the Nigerians. So we need to take things into our hand. I think we need to like form sub economies in this country. If we can give our people ability to fund themselves, they will not be selling their fellow Nigerians because of 20 naira. When I mean selling, I mean selling votes, all those things. When it's time to do the right thing, they will just sell their people away in different ways. If possible, we can come together, start businesses, pay our people living wages. If there's any way we can try and do that, work together and do this, I think Nigeria will be getting better small. And these things, I think, will take years. I think we need to be fighting in different angles. It's not only election we need to fight. Those other ones we need to also fight. So we need to try and look for ways, build factories, and try and do this thing. When people do it, when I see people do it, the government, local government, state government, federal government fight with taxes and everything. They try to shut it down. But we need to look for ways to go around this issue. I heard of some tech companies in Lagos that use their companies and when it comes to because security is one of the things that shut this. So some of these tech companies they will set up their own in-house security, but it's not something that is really known. Like within guys, they pay their security very well, but they are you know that they are security. But when people want to try and mess up their business, you just see people come out and fight with them, and you don't know the people around don't know what happened. You can set up economies and in-house security that people don't know what is really going on, and build up businesses, pay people well. People have money. You cannot come and give them 20 naira, 2,000, and all these things, and destroy this sort of economy that we might be able to set up. So if we can try to do these things, I feel Nigerians will have mouth to talk. It's not when somebody give them money, they will not know what they are doing again. Sometimes these people that even sell us, inside their heart, they are crying and saying, please, people that are more than me, come and fight for me, come and release me from this slavery money doing it because I have no other choice. They have children to feed and everything, and they're saying that there's nothing they can do about it. They just have to do something bad. So they are not they are insane, probably physically. They are not moving with their right senses, and they bring it into the world, and the children are just doing the same thing. It's a circle of destruction. So we need to fight this country problem in different angles and save ourselves from all these problems one way or another through the right ways by the grace of God. So I yield the mic.
Okay, thank you. Rob, are you here? Please now speak now.
Thank
Yes,
you
I'm
so
here.
much.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I'm here. I'm
I
here.
have started already, Rock. You have to hold on. Stop it.
Hello.
Oh
Evening.
God, I've started. Hold on. So this is it. Rock, continue. After Rock, I will speak. Next time.
Thank you so much. What happened to AJ? I think everything is held. Everything is to be blamed on the government. Why? I'll give you reasons. In proper countries, they have speed limits you shouldn't pass. Nigeria doesn't have any speed limit, at least written on the road and all that. Because why I'm giving you this context is that if there is a speed limit, I mean the parked car is not clearly not at fault. So normally they don't have to spark big vehicles on the road just like that. However, you never can tell. There can be an emergency, a big vehicle spoils on the road. I mean, it happens everywhere. A big vehicle puts the whole sign of okay, the whole emergency sign like okay, warning signs and all that. So there was nothing as such on the road like speed limit and all that. And secondly, in developed countries, Anthony Joshua will probably not be working with security and all the what's it called advanced riders because he was working with his own security and it was just a passenger, right? It was and this security over speed. In advanced countries, Anthony Joshua won't be doing that. He won't be working with all these big security. He may be working with his team, but not with all this security and that will be, in order to how will I put it, do their job, impress celebrity, they are carrying, they maybe try to overspeed and all that. And Anthony Joshua himself didn't even make an attempt to caution them, okay, because be like, okay, please take it easy, like take it easy with the speed and all that. He probably didn't do that because he trusted their expertise, right? So they have have such security. In essence, maybe this thing would have been avoided if he was the person that was driving himself, at least would have taken precaution to know the speed limit he can do. And definitely, we all know that the emergency force responders is 0000, like that's why I have to fly him out. And even the other speaker that was saying he has to stay, no, I don't think he had to stay because even when, like, if when they catch a criminal, probably during exchange of fire in US, and the criminal is shot, they first treat him. They can handcuff him in the hospital bed, or they first treat him first. When he recovers, that's when they will be ready to face the trial. Like, let me give you an example. The one that just happened in Australia, the Bundy massacre. What the terrorist that was caught almost half dead, they took him straight to hospital to treat him. Then he'll face trial after he recovers. So you can't just hold a man if you think he's a suspect that is sick, that not recovered, that is injured. You can't just hold him. No, you have to treat him first. And whereby there's no such facility here in Nigeria, given that he has the money to sponsor himself abroad to take the treatment, you don't have to hold him back. That's my own contribution. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. This is my turn. Let me just make it to react to some stuff you've said. First, you talked about the truck being on the road, and you also said that firstly, the truck was not supposed to be parked on the road, but emergency can cause the truck being parked on the road. And I love the fact that you cited other countries, right? How they behave, their character, and all that. But let me also remind you that not that same developed country, and I think Nigeria here, I believe there's enough already on ground in Nigeria. Trucks are not supposed to be moving on the Nigerian road by day. By daytime, they were not supposed to be see truck on road.
No, but praise this an expressway.
Yeah, express or no express, they
No,
are meant
no,
to move in
even
the road.
even for abroad for high expressway, they see truck they move anytime.
Okay, if you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
express, yeah, even in your street, even in the Keja, you will be Keja no be express, you will see truck. But let us take that aside. And again, you also said something that the developed countries, oh, in other countries, Anthony would have moved with security. I don't think nobody will move without security in this country at the current state of this country. Now, Nigeria, and in fact, if I get money saved, I go to work out with security around. That's the country we have found ourselves. And sometimes I think also, I think maybe Anthony was one of those people that hyped Nigeria also. I think so. Probably, you see, it's quite very sad, very, very sad. And this is something I also have to say here. If you have opportunity and you find yourself in some level of influence or position in this world, please, when you see what is black, call it black. We've seen this here, the whether she wants to be prime minister of the UK, even though many of us might have disagree. Your politician will say they are demarketing the country. Call it out. Call it out. When we are saying that the guy knows supposed to become security, I totally disagree with you. This current state of Nigeria, even poor man need to be working with security. Or if you don't have security, you have something to protect yourself. So I think I disagree on that. And I think another thing is that when we're also working with security, we know how convoy moves in Nigeria here. They move so fast, even with the tiny stupid road they have provided for themselves. So we need also to be very cautious when driving. But again, the other of that I was saying that Anthony would have, I know on the norms, right? Let us say we're in a working country, Anthony's supposed to be there probably since. But I think the driver no die. Driver supposed to answer all your. And Anthony would have also, because he was inside the car, would have also said, oh, this is the discussion, all those things, right? But this country, as far as it is Nigeria, as far as say, it has to do with Nigeria. Nigeria not even deserve to ask that question. They don't get right. Nigeria is my country. I said it. In fact, saying now Anthony Joshua, we don't go UK now. And you your country pay, carry your tax money, go UK, go the prison now. Whether she will be cashed there. If we have the, that's why I asked you, sir, if you were to be Anthony, because the first thing you started, you were like, oh, because Anthony Joshua, oh, the country is not friendly. If the country is supposed to treat him as they treat the poor, treat the rich the same. That was how you started your submission. And then you now move to treating the poor and the rich that if you are involved in accident and probably they need to find out maybe you guys were drunk. So they're supposed to be in Nigeria 3 times, question and know if it was drunk or not. Oh, because this one is rich, that is why they don't even care to know if they were or not. They have to flee him out of the country. Yeah, but sir, the country doesn't have anything to do with that guy here. That is why I mean I asked you, your president, the treat him for this where Ingo Day. You don't know the UK Prime Minister the treat himself for UK. You don't know say Donald Trump the treat himself for America. You don't know say Putin the treat himself for Russia. You don't know say Emmanuel Macron the treat himself for France. But your Tinubu, you go UK go treat himself. You go other countries. He never treat himself for Nigeria. You expect Anthony Joshua will be that person. Maybe I don't need that one opinion now. Anthony Joshua better pass Tinubu, get influence past Tinubu, make he can't treat himself for Nigeria. You expect Anthony Joshua make it treat himself for Nigeria when smaller Babio he treat himself for Nigeria. Smaller Babio. Anthony Joshua get level pass at Babio. Anthony Joshua comes treat himself when your smallest little boys, governors, cannot treat themselves. Yeah, let's be honest. That is why I also ask you, if you were Anthony Joshua, would you treat yourself here? If you were Anthony Joshua and they say there's law that you need to pay, would you agree to stay here and treat yourself for questioning? Does it even make sense that somebody have an accident, a very serious one? The next step is to flew him out of the country. I think Joshua is even privileged that he have money. If not so, maybe he would have followed. So I think what you should be saying that if this was a poor man, maybe who knows if he would have survived. It's quite very sad. All these things are on government, 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 government. Some of us have come of this place and said, somebody parked that car. If someone, if they have done this, people would have done this. Sir, the reason why, for me, this is my belief. The reason why we have government is because some human beings are animals. If all of us were coordinated, there would have been no need for government. Purpose for government is to select well-mannered people, well-coordinated people, well-trained people to be in the arms of affair to coordinate some of us that are animals. Put us in order. So if government have employed good federal road safety, they would have been there doing their job, dropping part on the road. They supposed to have patrol team. Highway supposed to have patrol team. In fact, this is the reason why kidnapper go there highway for hours, kidnap people. No policeman to even be there. Nobody knows. Now until the snap video puts all of us see videos and they don't kidnap people. That is why we also have federal road safety working on. I give you example where I'm living in Lagos here. Truck go fall for road. People go they sleep for road for traffic. Nobody's taking any responsibility. That is why in Nigeria, somebody go get accident, there for that road, die for that road, there for that road, drop. Nobody tell you. You go there for that road 3 days. Cops, the day 3 days. We could have make them happy at the night. Maybe some people in Nigeria. Cops the day road over 24 hours. Dead body. No government come take responsibility. You as ordinary citizen, if you go carry that dead body, say you want to go Samaritan, you don't enter Wala. But the government is also it doesn't mean that government officials are not passing. Convoy they pass, police department see that dead body, they no send. See, that is why me, I don't want to talk much. You don't stop. And it's very, very bad, and it's very bad image for our country. Maybe because of Anthony Joshua, they will put some laws in places. On the norms, we're supposed to get police, like you talked about speed limit. I think in Lagos State, we have something like that speed limit. Guess where it is? Not the language. The speed limit is supposed there for every part of the streets in Lagos or every part of the place in the state or your country. But they only go put out for third mainland. That third mainland, who they watch out. See, all of us in Nigeria, we know how our country works. The road safety on the road, if you can give them 1,000, they are gone. We need a working system. We need a country where law and order is 100% working. There you will have all this minute. Okay, all of us they ask for emergency response. Have you seen Ogun State emergency trucks? KK style. And that one they got use go carry Anthony Joshua. KK style, waiting governor feedback. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Sha, this was the same Anthony Joshua who came, shake hands with the failed president instead of telling him, Baba, you're not doing well. Quite very sad. But in all this, Grandmaster said something. Nigerians need to stand up, ask questions, demand many good things for the country to save themselves because who knows who will be victim tomorrow. But let's also be honest with ourselves. Let us, our own self, me, I dey look my face as I dey follow at the talk. Let us look our faces and tell ourselves that we are serious people in this country. Because nobody those one we will criticize. All of us for this space, let us look at our faces. Screw. Carry your hand, screw the phone, screw your phone, look at our faces. We here are the problem of our country. We cannot demand any single thing. It's not about space, let's be honest. And sometimes, lastly, there are some people who come on space and say something. If this space was a physical gathering conversation, or some of us will go to say something because before you talk finish, and you see your face, your family, They no go remember. They don't go sabi you again. Before you go explain yourself, no, be wetin I want to talk to. No collect plenty. On the norms, even for streets, it works. So please, my people, all these things is government responsibility. Bola Tinubu is not shame. Shame no the cash out to tweet twice on this matter. Tinubu, tell us, Tinubu is wearing a watch of 400 plus million naira. That alone would have provided good, solid emergency response in Lagos Ibadan Ibadan Expressway, which is the most dangerous. Thank you so much. I hear my mic.
Okay, thank you so much for what you said. I think you people have concluded the whole thing, but I just want
Vicky, can you allow Gerard to speak? I want to end this place. Like, I don't know. Please. Gerard, can you speak? Gerard. Okay, Rock is supposed to speak. I don't know. Rock, are you here?
Rock has spoken now.
Let
the man speak.
Yeah. Okay, Gerard. Okay, Vicky can continue. Those people, so just
yeah. I just want to
see all my posts and don't go.
They don't go to I want you to speak this after 6 here in the morning. Yeah, what I want to say is that the system is not working. You people have said it, Sadu have said it, Prince have said it, and the Chief, I don't know what Chief is saying, but because we want to hear what Chief wants to say, because as he started his statement, it doesn't make sense for me, but I don't know where he's going because I want him to hit the point. The main thing is that the system is not working. As this time now, we're supposed to have CCTV in all the federal roads. If it is country that is working, at this moment now, we're supposed to have the voltage of what has happened in that place. You understand? Know the speed limit and they know how the accident happened. But at this moment, nobody knows. So the system is not working. And we have to ask ourselves. That's why they said, look at yourself and ask yourself question. Are you working? Because if you are working, that means the system is all of us that is here that's supposed to ask ourselves the questions. Because it's we that are the government. We are the one that put those people there. And the 2027 is coming. You understand? Nigeria will not divide. As I'm saying that let's divide, it's not easy. So we have to face that 2027. And for we to make it happen, my brother, ask yourself this question. There is something one guy told me that somebody went to vote and they said the money they are sharing has finished. He took his voters card without voting. Is it how the country will work? So ask yourself question first, because we need the country to work. Because they didn't give it. Okay, you are laughing. You are laughing. I'm just telling you the honest truth. He came to vote, and they said the money they are sharing has finished. It's okay. He took his voters card home. Okay, and that's what they want. They want these guys. You don't know what is happening in your country. That is why they keep you people in poor, to be more than extremely poor, so you can behave anyhow. They don't even care. Look at what we are saying. Government, government, the president is wearing a watch of 400 and something million. You understand? So the system is very rotten. The system is rotten, and it's only me and you is the one to change it. And you have to start from you to your family. If you have a wife, talk to your wife. If you have children, talk to your children. If you have siblings, talk to them. You have to start from your family. Let me tell you, it is very easy. All of us went to school, from primary school. You know how family work. It starts from you. You are the one that make up your family. If you are, I think 60% of people that are here are men. You understand? From you to your wife, that is how the community form. From your wife, you get to your village. You understand? And this thing is starts from us. Before you get to your state and get to the, before you get to local government and get to state and get to the federal. So it is us to need the system to work. So I'm urging everyone, and I'm saying again, nobody will die again. This one we hear is the last one we are going to hear. All of us is going to see 2026, because we have how many hours now? I'm not even saying this because I'm into the 30th, it's the 30th of December. How many hours to enter 2026? We cannot see a victim. We cannot be a victim. Nigeria will not happen to you. You are going to see 2026 and you are going to see 2027. Please, let's plan ahead how to make that country to work. Because I believe that when it's abundant of the heart, the mouth speak. And if what you are saying is from your heart, I think you can put it in work. So the country will work for me and you. It is high time we elect the people that are supposed to be there, the people that we can be able to checkmate, the people that we can be able to ask questions. Why is this road safety is not working? It's not the people that when they announce that they need military people, everybody will run. They don't want to go there. When they announce they need police, everybody will run. They don't want to be a police. They don't want to be anything force. If we have a system that is working, you will see people that will be rushing to be in the government. You understand? And for you, start doing things in your home. Start from yourself. I think when we start like that, things will start improving. For the people that have lost their life, may their soul rest in peace. But it will not happen again. May God be with you. Thank you all.
Okay,
If
thank
you don't
you.
end with
You say you want to talk now, make I end.
Omar, because every months, two guys go just rush in and they let me say my mind. But my point is like what I think Prince and Vic kind of hit it on the head. But the point, like, which is what I was saying is, if somebody is in an accident, you have to treat the person first and then get information because information is data. Like the truth is what's going to like help other people understand. Okay, this is what happened. Was what I was trying to arrive to. It's not that if you have the money to go wherever you can, get the best treatment, then fine. Obviously, Nigeria is not a working country. Like anybody that has two eyes can see that things are not working. But if the only way laws make sense is if the people who can afford, to pay for everything are held accountable, then those who don't have will be able to follow as well. Right? There's this video in Abia State where the government is being, he was waiting for the traffic light and other people were seeing him. So now, if the governor is not in a rush, even with his convoy to go anywhere, but he's waiting in line like the rest of anybody, is it the person with keke that won't wait in line? So that's the point I'm making. Yes, Nigeria is not working. Unfortunately, not. And um, uh, AJ, AJ is a superstar. I know who AJ. AJ is one of Nigeria's biggest faces abroad, like globally. And what happened to him was unfortunate. But for the people,
Not Nigeria, not Nigeria, UK, not Nigeria. Yes, no, it's not representing Nigeria in anything. It's UK now. I've never represented Nigeria in anything.
he comes back to Nigeria. He's
Yeah,
Nigeria's son. So
he comes back doesn't mean he represents Nigeria. So he's
that's no, I'm not talking about what he represents. I just mean like when you see Anthony Joshua, yes, they say he's a UK. Like when he fights, when he whatever he says, they say okay, the UK boxer, but he's Nigerian, like fully blooded, like he's a full Nigerian. So you can't take that away from him, even though he doesn't quote unquote kind of represent, but he's still a Nigerian. And the point I'm making is just that yes, if the system was working, like if the system had any semblance of sanity, then there shouldn't be a need for like. And everyone made a great point. Like this, if we sit here and start talking about the problems of Nigeria, Nigeria has way too many problems. Like you can't solve all the problems, but like for being on, like what I was saying is that as yes, Anthony Joshua is the biggest star in their car, right? But two people lost their lives, right? And for the sake of those that died, we need to know exactly what happened. That doesn't mean that because Anthony Joshua is a superstar, he gets to just get out and This case is just going to be an open-ended case. Maybe those that are in the know will know exactly what happened. But the people who are traumatized, the people who saw the accident, like there's so many things that happened, and it would just be an open-ended case, and people will never get like closure that they need if the truth is not being heard. Yes, he was a victim, but his story is still part of the investigation that needs to be made. And that's the main point. Two people lost their lives. If to say those two people were like the typical Nigerians that we know, and that was the reason why people were abusing me initially, because they felt like, oh, it's two regular Nigerians died, but our uh, shining star and superhero AJ is alive. Why are you even talking about him? But they like just because other people in Nigeria do not value human life. Life means something. Somebody died, it means somebody died. That life means the respect it requires, which is the full investigation for those two that lost their lives. And that literally that's all I was trying to get to.
Ah, la, 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 la.